Everybody, what is going on? This is Fun Speculation
Why are you cutting
Podcast.
out like that?
Am
What
I
the
was I
hell?
cutting out?
Oh my god, yeah, it sounded like you completely disappeared and it was like I was like, okay.
All right, is this better? Well, hello everybody. This is Fun Speculation Podcast in the Ultimate PM thing. Did that cut
Yeah,
out?
no, you
Okay.
were good there.
All right. Maybe it's because I was like, hello everybody.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what's up, guys? We're gonna have a fun show tonight. Gonna talk a lot about Battlefield today because we are on the eve of maybe the best Battlefield we've had in a very long time.
Five. It's a five.
Unless you're IGN and you have to go and do IGN things, is what Pong is referring to. We'll talk a little bit about that and some of the other reviews and stuff later in the show. But shout out to the chat. Thank you for being here tonight. We got a lot of games coming out. We had a lot of games launching recently and a lot of games coming out in the next few weeks after this week even. So it's going to be a fun month, I think, of October. I already see things starting to pre-install and stuff like that. I think Ninja Gaiden 4 became downloadable officially, like so it started pre-installing as well. So I had to clear space for that. Battlefield, obviously.
I think Outer
Um,
Worlds 2 is downloadable as well now.
yeah, is Outer Worlds 2 is also?
That's
Yeah,
a
it's
free, yeah.
just we're getting on the cusp of lots of greatness here. Unless you're also the Joystick Awards who likes to just have kart racers be in the game of the year nominations. Did you? I don't know if y'all saw that, but that was really
Yeah.
weird. They don't really take into account good games. I guess they just take into account platform type games for specific platforms. It seems like, but anyway, we'll get past that. I'll touch on that later too when we talk about the review stuff. But yeah, man, we have a fun week. Gonna be, like I said, heavy on Battlefield today. I'm like super excited for tomorrow. And if y'all have been around watching this channel since before 2042's launch, you saw how hyped we were for that one. And I would say, even though we haven't had as much content going on around it as we did back then, I think the hype level actually for me personally for 6 is even higher than it was for 2042 just because how awesome that beta was and everything. But we are joined by the one and only Fuzzy Belvedere. What's up, Fuzz? What game is that in the background? It's an old school fighting game.
Yeah,
Buddha's
it's
Palm.
no, it's Shaolin versus Wu Tang. It's one of those
Oh,
fighters that would be great if they had online, but unfortunately they don't have online. It's
right
great for
on.
couch co-op. But
I don't even
it's
know
like
if
a
I ever
knockoff
played
of.
that.
Well, imagine all of the '70s stars, but like they're knockoffs. That's
Right.
what's in this game. That's what makes it pretty cool. But yeah, I'm glad to be here with you guys. And Battlefield, yeah, I had to make space for that as well. I'm going to also have to make space for NASCAR 25 coming next week.
Yep.
And I'm probably going to wind up purchasing it twice. Purchase it on console to play around, but PC to kind of fall back into modding again and paint schemes and all that other NASCAR goodness. So we'll see how it goes. But I had to be here with you guys tonight.
Right on, man. Good to see you, Fuzz. And we got the one and only Jasper hanging out with us tonight as well. What's up, Jasper?
It's going pretty good. I've been playing some Mega Bonk, one of the new hit indie games that everyone's been talking about.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. It's like 3D Vampire Survivors. So if you're into that kind of stuff.
How does that
And then
translate? Does it operate pretty well, like being a 3D Vampire Survivors type game? Because I was like, I saw some of the footage. I was like, kind of like, it throws me off a little bit, like it being that style of game. But is it feel the same or is it completely change it?
I mean, if I would say it feels pretty the same. I mean, it's just your movement's different because you're in a 3D environment
Yeah.
and you can like do some tricks by like sliding down hills and jumping and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's pretty similar. There's no like combos like with the Vampire Survivors where you could like get two different items and they'll synergize and become like an
Right.
ultimate weapon. I don't think there's any of that, at least not that I've seen. I've have like 15 hours or so into it. Um, but you can like create powerful builds if you match some weapons together. Like some go better together than others. And then other
Yeah.
than that, I just went and saw the legendary GameStop that everyone was tweeting about a few days ago. I saw that wasn't too far from me, so I was like, I guess I'll go check that out. And I didn't realize this at the time, but I actually was at that one like a year ago, and then just never fucking saw the Halo thing. And I was like, oh, I've been there before.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
So
Do you
went and
think
saw
they
that.
do leave it on purpose just because of how awesome it is, or do you think it's just like they never bothered to update the store?
Honestly, I think that GameStop, like, it seems like it's been abandoned and GameStop, the corporation, forgot about them because it's connected to a Barnes and Noble, and you can go through the Barnes and Noble into the GameStop, and only half of the GameStop has stuff. Like the other half is just completely empty, and there's nothing in there. So it's like just half a store.
We have a GameStop that's in a Barnes and Noble in Plano, which is not too far from me. I remember I went in there once because they were the only ones near me when Blaze Blue came out. So I drove all the way there to get Blaze Blue back in the day, the physical copy. And like that is probably the biggest GameStop I've ever seen. Like it was just massively huge. So I could imagine yours is similar to that, but now with GameStop and the condition that it's in, being half empty would just be really depressing.
Yeah.
Is there just Funko? But they have like Funko Pops and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, they have all the fucking collectible bullshit,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like,
That's pretty much what GameStop is these days.
yeah.
Well, good to see you, Jasper. Glad you're here, and glad you got to take that picture saluting outside of the legendary GameStop. That was awesome. And we also have the one and only Pong Soul. What's up, Pong?
Happy Thursday night, everybody. Great to be back here. Great to see Fuzzy. Great to see Jasper joining us as well. Keeping space safe. Love when he joins us. And of course, good to see you, brother. Matt. Happy to be here, everybody. I have not been able to play. I mean, obviously, if I had a lot of the time, I'd be playing Final Fantasy Tactics. I have not even had a chance to jump back into that. I played some rounds of Deep Rock Galactic Survivor and some more Puzzle Quest. And that's it. Just a little bit of each one of those, so I won't bore you with the details. But Deep Rock Galactic Survivor is probably top 5 game for me this year. I'll just say that it's locked in. It's an incredible game. Now I haven't played everything this year. Obviously, this year I'm a little bit lighter on the new stuff than I normally would be. But it's a freaking fantastic game, man. I just never even a million years thought that would be the game. Like that dropped into Game Pass was a surprise. That'd be like holy shit. But it truly is. It's an addiction at this point. It's like Vampire Survivors.
That whole genre. I mean, like I was playing Vampire Survivors again last night on the Switch.
Yeah.
Like, cause I was like, I need to play this damn thing. Like, I need to play something on this thing. Like, I've had it at launch. I played Mario Kart World a little bit, and then I haven't really used it. And
why
part of
like buy Cyberpunk. Just play Cyberpunk.
Well, I was thinking like, okay, I'm gonna get like some of the little fun, more like simple kind of games and use that to just chill in bed and play and stuff. Right. And it is faster. Like the UI is better. It's like overall, it's like a way better system than the other Switch was. But I have one major complaint about it that keeps me from playing it as much as I would otherwise. And I don't know if other people have this issue or not, or if it's just me. But where I play at in my bedroom when we're in bed hanging out, like I have good Wi-Fi in there. Like everything else, like I'll play on my tablet and do either console streaming or xCloud gaming, like in the same spot. I'll be able to use my phone, Wi-Fi, and it's connected to Wi-Fi, no problem. If we have a tablet or anything else that's ever Wi-Fi in that same spot, no problem whatsoever. But for some reason, the Switch too just has an abysmal connection to my Wi-Fi in that spot.
I'm so shocked.
I didn't have that issue with the Switch 2, but the Switch 1, I know when I first got that, like I literally had to put it next to my router just to update it because like the Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
couldn't get Wi-Fi in my room, and it's like
So it's like
They're
the
using
game's got a
off-the-shelf Wi-Fi parts from freaking a decade ago, bro. Of course.
well, I like it's tricky to navigate the store and stuff and just browse around to see what's in there. Like it'll connect, it'll disconnect, it'll go slow. The tiles won't fully load and stuff. And then it's like if I lean forward enough or place it forward enough, then it like gets a good enough signal.
Put tinfoil on it. Put tinfoil on it.
Yeah, I it's frustrating, and like I don't want to rearrange because where I have my stuff is perfect for everything else besides the Switch 2, and if I move something, that might cause other problems. So I had found the sweet spots for my house, but it's like just the Switch 2 in that one isolated area, and it's really frustrating. Well,
he's got like taped X's
yeah.
on the wall where he can stand.
Yeah, this is the Switch 2 spot. This is my Switch 2 spot. Like I'll sit here I'll have instructions.
Random,
sit here to update your
spot.
games. Yeah. Yeah. I can stand on top of the bed and hold it up like this. Yeah.
Yes.
It's frustrating.
It's like, Matt, will you just go to bed? You're like, no, I'm trying to update my Switch too.
Yeah.
It's like the old rabbit ears on the TVs, like where you had to hold. Like, you'd have like the no, right there. Yeah. Stop. It's downloading fast. Okay.
That's what it feels like with that thing. Like seriously, like if I move it forward enough, like 4 feet forward, like it's fine. But if I'm like leaning back, chilling, no, So, but yeah, I was playing Vampire Survivors on it last night and just was having an epic run. I don't know if it was ever gonna end. I ended up because I had it on endless,
Sure.
And I got all this great stuff. And like I ended up, the super weapons and stuff Jasper was talking about. I ended up having a jack. My character was just completely, like
if you get the right mix, it's
stacked. Yeah. So then it just was going. I just stopped moving. I was just sitting there, let people come at me while we're sitting there watching stuff. And it was like an hour later, and it was still going. So I was like, I don't know what I need to do now. Like I just keep upgrading the same basic things, But,
plug it in and go to sleep.
But yeah,
see how long it goes.
It's funny that like that genre though, because we spoke about that. Okay, so I was playing Vampire Survivors last night. Mm-hmm. Jasper was playing Mega Bonk, and you played Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah,
it's completely consumed people. I think like there's like so many. Yeah,
it's like roguelites. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. Like they're everywhere now. Yeah, because they're cheap to make. They're low risk. They're cheap to make, and it isn't like people are coming up with new inventive ways of doing them. It's not just one of those genres where you automatically just have to copy Vampire Survivors. You can add twists and turns, and that's what we've seen with a lot of these. It's really cool. Yeah.
Karate Survivor is awesome.
Yeah, I played that demo, Fuzz. I love that too.
Which one is it? Karate Survivor?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
on Steam.
Oh, I remember seeing that. Yeah,
it's really dope. It's really dope because you get your special, you get your moves, and it's almost like a program, and you can slot them in, and your character does them automatically in whatever order you put them in. So you can create combos with the different orders that you put your moves in and shit. Like it's really dope.
Yeah,
and you can pick up weapons and you can throw shit. It's like a Jackie Chan movie. It's really dope.
Yeah.
Fuzzy's really bringing in the kung fu and karate references tonight. He's got his like Shaolin game, but going back there, and he's like, "Oh, I got something to chime in with. Karate Survivor is awesome." Well, maybe we'll just have like a Virtua Fighter segment or something.
Maybe that's one of the movies he's working on now.
Maybe that would be cool. Hey, you know what? I haven't seen like a kung fu horror movie.
Oh, true.
That is an awesome idea.
It is.
I wish I was working on it, but
could you imagine like a zombie movie with like fucking like
I'm sure there is some I think there is some Japanese horror movies that have kind of combined some of that shit. But you're right, Mav. Overall, we really haven't seen it. It would be pretty cool to have something like that.
Can you imagine like a drunken boxer like Jackie Chan like fighting zombies?
Yeah, or just fighting ghosts, like just make it totally ridiculous.
Yeah,
like, just fighting.
Did we just invent a new genre?
Yeah.
Fuzzy, you got pulled now. Let's go. Let's make it happen, bro. $1 million idea just floated your way.
Trademarked by Fun Speculation. No, that would be awesome though, for real.
Yeah.
I would watch it.
Yeah.
What if you could like fight the ghost of like past kung fu legends? Like Bruce Lee shows up or something like that, and you got to fight his ghost.
That'd be actually a cool game.
Yeah.
You get Shaq Fu in there.
Shaq Fu, that legend, Shaq Fu.
I just picture you like somehow pushing or kicking Bruce Lee through the wall, and then just like, since he's a ghost, he comes back through the wall and just and kicks
exactly
afterwards. But
by the way, my wife said in the chat.
My
wife said in the chat that my wife, she said in the chat, I usually have to get my rabbit ears in just the right spot also.
I don't know what. I don't want to know what you're referencing, Kate. I don't.
Use your imagination. Or actually, don't. Don't use your imagination. Don't use it. Just don't think about it.
She said it.
Don't think about it too much.
She's the problem. Wait, hold on.
Or you're not going to Google this, are you?
Well, no, I got to turn my camera off.
Why? What are you going to do now? I told you not to imagine. You turning your camera off? What are you doing, Pong?
He's going to go test it himself.
If I hear some like slapping sounds, we're going to have a problem. All right. Shout out to Andrew Colinane, BT Maverick 707, Punty 050, Masshole 1977, Luis Jimenez, Big B Money, Danny Passion Official. Let's see who else we got in here. Prey Grasso. What's going up, Phasma? What's going on, Phasma? How are you doing?
I know what's up after Caitlin's comment.
What's up, Corrupt Killer? How you doing? Psycho, what is going on as well? Let's see who else we got in here. OGTK Cole. Hello to you, sir. Mac 22TH54. How's it going? Did I say hi to Wilfrey Rosario yet? What's up, Wilfrey Rosario? 3-Bit is here making an appearance. He says, let's make the Kung Fu horror. 3-Bit, between you and Fuzzy and all of y'all's like expertise, we can make this happen. I just want to be one of the voices. That's all I ask for. Just want to be a part of it.
Oh, you're gonna do the shit, whatever like you do when
I'll do the anime-inspired voices that we do when we see an anime game. I don't know what I just said. I'm sorry if I cussed.
You didn't say anything.
Okay. Shout out to Brett Bingham. What's going on to you too? Do you think they would hire me to do Japanese voiceover?
No. Do English voiceover. You could be the terrible American, like voice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like with
you could do your Texan accent. They'd have that Southern guy, like the Southern martial arts expert with the cowboy hat. You could do that.
Oh, like a David Carradine type.
Yeah, exactly.
Am I gonna die from erotic asphyxiation as well?
Only if you want to, man. Only if you want to.
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
How'd he die? He was trying to get the rabbit ears in the right spot.
No, it just says on his tombstone, he came and went. It's up, JB 1521. What's going on? So everybody, we are on the eve of Battlefield 6. And if you're familiar with us, you know we are big time Battlefield fans around here. Every one of us has played their fair share of Battlefield, and we all have our favorites and all that kind of stuff. We've had reviews hit today, and I actually got to say, mostly were extremely positive. Now, I think there was a lot of positive reviews for 2042 as well before launch, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember what it hit at Do we know what's the review score for 2042? Does anybody remember? Or can we look it up?
I'm looking it up right now.
Mac22TH54, member for 8 months, says Mav,
Mav.
TMI.
68.
65 on OpenCritic. So
So it didn't get good review scores at launch at all. 2042
because
did.
it was broken.
So.
It was broken.
Yeah, but like the reviewers don't really know that shit. Usually.
Mav, the hit detection was.
Well, did they give review copies early for 2042? Or did they hold them back?
I don't remember. That I can't tell you. I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm curious because I don't remember. That's really low for a Battlefield, man. Now, yeah, it was broken. I think we
awful, and there was no campaign, and some of the reviewers hated that there was. No
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I would say
campaign, and they hate the campaign.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna get to. So overall, the reviews on 6 are I say extremely positive. Not that like review scores matter too much. Like I had a blast with 2042. So even though it was missing stuff and like we had our complaints over things, like overall we were still playing the shit out of it and having fun.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but I remember it was a huge deal even leading up to launch. They didn't have a campaign. For us, we don't really care too much because like that's not why we play Battlefield, and that's why I think the majority of gamers don't play Battlefield for the campaigns. It's usually kind of an oversight, unless you go back to like the Bad Company games. Like those were good campaigns. Bad Company 1 and 2.
Well, Battlefield 3 was a great campaign. Battlefield 3 was.
3 was. I don't remember. Yep. I think I remember Battlefield 4 had a campaign also, didn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
I think I remember the commercials for 4's campaign. I don't really remember 3 too much. They kind of
Battlefield 3. You were like a dude. It was like I guess like a soldier or whatever, but like you're being interrogated like every other mission or whatever. Like what went wrong or whatever, because like a nuke went off in like Paris or some shit, I think. And then Battlefield 4 was like mainly in China or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Hardline was
like
a
I
great
talked about
campaign.
a few months ago. Hardline, awesome. Set up like a detective show, like a TV show. It's freaking fantastic. Way underrated. That was freaking awesome.
Now I know a lot of people.
Everybody hated it.
A lot of people did like 1's campaign, but it was weird. It was a little different because it like put you in different like.
Yeah, like
scenarios,
mini stories or whatever.
Yeah, it was like mini stories relating to the history and stuff like that. And I think they did the same thing for 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So I wasn't a huge fan of those. I thought they were fine, like for like to maybe learn something or to kind of just have this experience. But I like campaigns more that like go through and tell a grander story. You know what I mean? Well, IGN didn't like this campaign at all. And they chose to review the campaign separately. I'm not a huge fan of that. Unless they're offered as separate things. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand, for example, Halo Infinite, because the multiplayer is a separate free-to-play experience. You don't even have to buy the campaign, right? I understand, like, reviewing Warzone separately from the rest of Call of Duty, because Warzone is a free-to-play thing. Call of Duty... Black Ops 7, I think single player and multiplayer should be reviewed as one package, personally. But there's tons of games that have single player and multiplayer together in a package. I just am curious, why does the hype for a game or something make them decide I'm going to review the campaign and the multiplayer separately?
I mean, I watched the review today.
Yeah.
And they kind of addressed this point a little bit in the review. They're like, so we get asked sometimes, like, why do we review the game separate? Like, and they're like, because they said some people like to just play the campaign and some people just like to play the multiplayer. That's literally what they said.
Okay, well, it's fine. Well, then do it for every fucking game. Like they only do it with some of the biggest games. They don't do it to all the other games that also have multiplayer and single player. Like they do it with Call of Duty, they do it with Battlefield. And they do it with a few others, but like for the most part, all the reviews for games that have multiplayer and single player are one review, right? So I find it that it's mostly probably because they want double the amount of clicks and attention, and they know it's going to be a huge search thing for like reviews and stuff, and it's like they can get more clicks obviously if they do the campaign and the multiplayer separately, right? That's why they don't bother to do it on some of the mid-tier games or the games that are a little less popular and stuff like that, right? Even if they are bigger games, they only do it for the biggest, you know. So I call bullshit on them, and because for me, a game is a complete package. If you're paying $70 for something, some games are going to have more emphasis on one thing than the other, right? And to have a score out there that's attached to something that's primarily not meant to be for that experience is kind of unjustified. Like, I remember back in the day when they reviewed Shadowrun, and all this was for most reviewers and Chromehounds. Back in the day on the 360, they were all like glowing for the multiplayer, right? And how great the multiplayer was, but they were all like, but the campaign is like this, or like it's like not really worth playing. And I was like, yeah, because like the campaign is literally just a fucking tutorial to teach you how to play, right? It was like it's the only purpose that it serves, and that was at a time when that was kind of a new thing, you know. So, but they dramatically lowered the scores because they just killed the campaigns in those games. And like, I always try and think of like, what is the experience that the companies are trying to give you? And if you're paying $70 for something and it's an all-inclusive package, I always feel like you should review it together, because that's what the people are purchasing. People aren't purchasing just the campaign, right? Now, if you want to touch on those separately within the review, I think that's very fair. But I would also argue, like, right now, I mean, I haven't played it yet, so I can't say, but I would have a hard time believing that the production value of probably what's going to be on to offer in this Battlefield campaign is going to be a 5. Like, just for production value alone, you know?
Like, if you watch the IGN review, like, they had, like, interviewer on reviewing the guy that reviewed the game, like asking questions about it. The guy that reviewed the game constantly contradicted himself in the interview. He was like, yeah, you know, this Battlefield, it's all kind of, it's more linear. There's a few open levels, and I just wanted, you know, they just got a bad review because there's no open levels. It's like, you just said there were some open levels. And it's like, what the fuck? And he's like, you know, I wanted a game that was kind of, you know, had cinematic, kind of explosive, exciting moments. And he's like, this is all this Battlefield had. I'm like, I don't like it. It's like, bro, what the fuck? So I don't know. It's just like the guy himself didn't even know what he wanted from the game. And
yeah,
I mean, I can't say if it's good or bad because I haven't played it either. But just from the way he was talking, it was like, you're saying you wanted this one thing, they gave it to you, and then the next minute you're like, I didn't like it.
Yeah. Well, I guarantee they're gonna get a lot of clicks for giving the campaign a 5, right? And it could, like, maybe everybody else has the same opinion. I just don't like taking something that is a lesser part of a game, reviewing it separately, blowing it up as it's like an equal weight to the other thing that the franchise is made for. You know what I mean? That's like reviewing, like, I don't know.
Here we go with the restaurant analogy.
No, I was trying to think of another game franchise that's like mostly campaign but has like a small multiplayer mode. You know what I mean? Like Space Marine 2, right? Like the multiplayer is like an experience, but it's not like a whole, fully blown out massive thing, right? And it'd be like reviewing that separately when you're people that are buying Space Marine 2 are buying it for the campaign. You know what I mean? Primarily. So it would just be like, why not review those separately? It technically has both. So that's just my point on it. But who knows? Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's justified. Do you guys in the chat, do y'all like separate reviews for campaign and multiplayer if it's purchased for this in one package? Let me know. Do you find it valuable? But yeah, Pong, do you think that's a practice that should continue, or how do you feel about that?
I mean, how many times have we had this discussion? No, I think I think this is completely wrong by IGN. I've made this argument before that they know, number one, like you talked about, and we've all talked about, they know what they're doing. These scores, they do. They know they're going to get the clicks, but they also understand that their review on the sites, and again, 5 years of talking about this. Yes, review scores shouldn't matter, but to the average Joes, they do. And also, this industry still has devs that are contractually bonused upon score. So there is a lot of weight that still happens to be attached to reviews. So there is a great responsibility because we know for a fact that part of the math on Metacritic, OpenCritic, is that some of the bigger sites have weighted heavier than the smaller sites do. So their scores matter more than the random 9, 10 that comes out of some no-name website somewhere, right, in Timbuktu. IGN knows this. They understand, or they claim to understand this industry because they're professionals, and yet they pull shit like this. Like, this just makes me mad. Like, they know that review is going to go into the initial score system, and they know that their 5 drops the score down for Battlefield, potentially probably by a half point. And they understand this.
The Metacritic
And they
doesn't have
still
a
do it.
campaign and a multiplayer section.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
It's like just
No.
one game. So
No.
even if the multiplayer gets a
No.
10, the aggregate for
Right.
their score would end up being a 7.5, and it could be the best Battlefield ever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. That, and also, Mav, we all know that once the initial scores are dropped, nobody goes back and looks at the scores that get changed or redone or updated. Nobody freaking does that. The scores are what the scores are. And yes, we could all sit here as enthusiasts and go, who the F cares? It's IGN. Nobody cares what IGN thinks anymore. They still have millions of freaking subscribers out there. They still literally have millions of people who are gamers, casual gamers, that go to that website for all their information.
Yeah.
Like, as sad as that is, that still does happen. Just like we have, all the regular, news that's still around, mainstream news that's still around, even though we all know that they don't give the best information. People still sit in their homes and watch news networks every single day. There is a bunch of gamers who go to IGN and they see this score and only this score. And on top of it, we also know that nobody freaking reads anything beyond the headline. So they just, and with review scores, it's just the number. Oh, Battlefield 5. I can guarantee you the casuals who go see that score don't know it's just for the campaign. They don't. They just see the number. Oh, 5? Oh, shit. I could skip this Battlefield. I don't know why everybody was hyping it so much. Now, the good news is that a lot of people like that also probably do watch streaming somewhat nowadays and do see streamers streaming. So they probably will eventually see or have a good chance of seeing that Battlefield is actually as good as we all know it's going to be on the multiplayer side. And they probably might have a change of heart and go buy the game at that point. But there's going to be a lot of people who just see that score and say and shit on it or just say it's not worth it. And Call of Duty, I guess I'm going to pick up Call of Duty this year again for the billionth time. So IGN understands all this and they still do this, and it's for the clicks. It's for the clicks, pure and simple. I've argued this forever. I 1000% believe that in a lot of situations, they adjust their scores up or down or give it the famous 7 simply to create the talking point so that they get mentioned so people go click on it. And I will never, I don't care how many times we are told that doesn't happen, that they are truly a professional site. Nah. No, they only get paid because of the advertising dollars. So no, I don't believe it. I believe they're influenced. But anyways, I just think it's shit. I think this is a terrible way to do it. And yes, they should have gotten rid of this way of doing it a long time ago. They should withhold their review. How many other games, Mav, do we get? We've seen it lately with some of the bigger games. Some of the bigger sites withhold their scores and say score pending because they aren't done reviewing it yet.
Yeah.
Why can't IGN just withhold it and say here's our initial thoughts on the campaign. We are waiting to see how the multiplayer,
how the actual Battlefield game is.
Right. And then we'll give you a final score. Right. And that happens all the time in sites. But again,
well, what's funny is the guy that reviewed it, he was like, the interviewer asked him, he's like, so what's your kind of experience with Battlefield? He's like, I've been in and out of Battlefield. The multiplayer is not really my thing. I don't really care for the multiplayer in Battlefield. It's like,
so again, you got a reviewer who doesn't give a shit.
He probably doesn't even know like that multiplayer is the main thing in Battlefield. We talk about how a lot of these people that they hire and stuff or review stuff for them, like just are kind of out of touch with the things that they're reviewing. Like, why have somebody like that review anything related to Battlefield?
But what's funny is they also gave him the Call of Duty campaign review coming up. So he's going to get to compare both of them. He's like, yeah, so they were like, IGN, we thought it'd be fair if the same person reviewed Battlefield and Call of Duty. So
why does that even fucking matter? Like,
so they can compare both of them.
When have they ever cared about doing that with any of the other games, though? They never care about having somebody who's interested in two separate games make sure that they review them so they can compare them when they're out, similar type game. That's the dumbest shit in the world.
Did they make sure the same person reviews Forza and GT7? I'm just curious.
Come on.
Like, or all the other PlayStation campaigns that are the similar kind of games. Like,
the same
are they
person
going to have
review all the fighting games? Do they review all the fighting games?
Right. We have I could understand if you have a fighting game expert that's a fan of all the franchises. Hey, that'd be great.
We've said that they should do this. People who like these style games should review the style of game that they like or that they enjoy, or at least that they understand. If this guy only cares about the campaigns, that's fine. Have him do the review of the campaigns, but don't have him review the multiplayer on both games. But again, withhold your score and let two reviewers work on the games, then one for the multiplayer, one for the campaign, and then have them get together and give a final score on it. Like this isn't difficult for a professional organization with millions of followers. Sorry, I can't stand it.
Yeah. I agree, man. What about you, Fuzz? How do you feel about that practice?
All I hear in my head is that theme song, well, not theme song, but the song from Sesame Street from back in the day. One of these kids is doing his own thing. It's like you call them
you're speaking to all those Gen Xers right
there. I mean, you call these guys professionals, and I understand they may have gone to school for this and they have titles behind it, but they're not. If they were professionals, they would follow the same protocol that other sites that contribute to OpenCritic and Metacritic do. Not one of them is doing separate reviews, much like you said. So I don't know why they want to be special. Well, I know why they want to be special, and you touched on it. It brings attention to them because we're having this conversation about them because they did this foolishness. But I think it would have made more sense either to hold the review or just do the complete review at the time when you have both the multiplayer and single player ready to go, and then say, okay, it averages out to a 7.5. So multiplayer was a 10 out of 10, but the campaign brought it down a few notches. If you care about the campaign, this one may not be it for you. Care about the multiplayer? That's where it's at. The campaign will just be popcorn watching practice, I guess, for you before you get into the multiplayer. But I don't understand. Like, I try to put it in other terms of things I pay attention to reviews for, like cars. All right, so somebody that doesn't know how to drive stick drives a car that has stick. They give it a low score because they don't know how to drive stick. Okay, we don't do a separate review for the automatic. We don't do a separate review for, winter tires versus all seasons. Like, this is foolishness. And if we keep on paying attention to IGN, it's going to continue. sure the casuals are going to come across this review, and like you said, they'll either pass up on a great experience in Battlefield 6 because of this idiot score, or hopefully they'll become more irrelevant as more streamers broadcast this on Twitch and YouTube and stream it, and they'll actually see it for what it's worth. They'll see what the campaign is like, because, like, much like Jasper said, I hate when people either mix words on, like, or contradict themselves on a review, because he was like, well, I want to, like Jasper said, cinematic experience, but how many times can C4 be exciting? It's like, okay. And then he complains about watching an explosion that he didn't control, but then he was also complaining about the mounted gun when he's basically causing all the chaos or carnage in another section. So it's like, that's not the person that should be reviewing, because that's not a person that sounds like they're enthusiastic about campaign to begin with. Like, maybe he would be better playing Mario something, because that's how it came across. It seemed like that was a platform player playing a first person shooter. Okay. I would be better at doing a first person shooter being more of a racing fan than somebody that's going to complain about the movie experience, and then when you get the movie experience, or ask for the movie experience, complain about the movie experience, or well, I didn't get to participate here, but then I didn't participate here. It's like, it was a waste of time. Like, I figured I owed it to talking about this to watch the review. Gave it a thumbs down, of course, but it's like, I hate the fact that I even bothered to give them a review, but I at least wanted to see why it was a 5 out of 5. Because I'm like, if anybody with any wherewithal looks at all of those scores, and, like, they're going to focus on why is one knucklehead giving this a 5 out of 10 when everybody else at minimum is giving it an 8. Like, I could see if some other places were 7s or 6s or something, but you got 8 out of 10, but mainly 9s out of 10 all across the board, and this one group does 5s, and it is the more weighted score. Like, if I was Metacritic, I would remove them for 6 months. Do this again, you're removed for a year for any reviews. Metacritic has more of the pull than they do. I say remove them from the judgment. If they can't follow the simple rules or the simple guidelines that all of the other critic sites are doing, remove them. It doesn't help Metacritic. It punishes the devs, because much like you guys touched on earlier, if their bonuses are based on scores, which that, I guess, practice sucks nowadays, because you do have knuckleheads out there like that know this and do this foolishness anyway. Remove them from the scoring. Like, if you look at it in sports, if a team does something wrong, like me being a NASCAR fan, oh, the car's too low at inspection, they're suspended. The crew chief is suspended. The driver might even be suspended, or they may not take the win away if they won, but they'll take the money away. They'll take points away. Do the same thing to them. If they're not playing by the rules, out of here. 6 months, you're removed. You no longer count. You're not going to get the forwards back to your site in advertising dollars because you don't know how to play by the rules. Period. I think that would solve a lot of things. And then we would have a more conformed, measurable way of reviewing games that's consistent across all sites. I mean, you'll still have, I forget the name of the other places because I erase them from memory, but the ones that are always like, oh, it's an Xbox game, it's a 2. Oh, it's a PlayStation game, it's a 4, or it's something like that. Like, if you're going to purposely review games to review bomb them, you don't need to be part of Metacritic or OpenCritic or anything like that as well. But I don't know. I don't know if there's any better way to structure reviews than to penalize those that are intentionally trying to penalize, publishers and stuff. Which, fine if it was a rushed game. If it was like, and I always like bring this one up for EA. If it was like Star Wars Jedi Survivor, where it was broken at launch, yeah, penalize them for being broken at launch. Don't kiss their butt and give them a 10 out of 10 because they told you there was going to be a day one patch that didn't fix anything. I don't know. This is why I don't like looking at review sites, because it's either they give a high score on something that's broken, or they give a low score because the person that reviewed it doesn't know how to play the game, or it's not the game for them. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've rambled enough.
I mean, I think it'd be the best thing is, like, if even despite who reviews it, like, just, hey, if your review is in progress for the multiplayer, that's the biggest component of the game. So just sit there and hold off your score for the whole game. Because it's like giving a 50% weight to something that's worth maybe like 10% of the actual game. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't add up for what Battlefield is about. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if the campaign in a Battlefield game is really good or great, that is cherry on the top for me. You know what I mean? That's like icing on the cake. The substance of Battlefield is the multiplayer. And it's always been that way. So, but now they're holding equal weight to both, you know? And like, you got to think too, like, do the developers of these games or publishers, because they care about the review scores, right? Because they think it has an impact on them and how their games do and all that kind of stuff. We've heard numerous times. I mean, it was in the FTC leaks and all these other kind of things about how much feedback, reviews, even like Digital Foundry's opinion, like, holds weight on the impact and the success of their games. I mean, PlayStation was like, oh, if Digital Foundry says our games aren't up to snuff, we're gonna go out of business. Like, it's just crazy stuff like that. You like how much they care about the image of things. So if this is how it's treated, that if they do a campaign, like, you got to think, like, does that potentially in the future make them consider, well, it's not worth it for us to do, because it's actually going to dampen the image of our product if we can't make the biggest, best thing in the world and put it out there as the campaign also. Like, Battlefield's not about that. It's just not. So, I don't know. I think it can be ridiculous, and these review sites end up holding actually way too much power over things. But I think also this day and age, like with streamers and stuff and everything, like, games can overcome it better than they could have in the past. Or they can also, despite good reviews, not do very well because of either whatever conversations are going on online or lack of attention from certain kinds of communities and stuff. So it's like, overall, I think just generally now, like, even though they still hold a lot of power, like, and I think too much, things can be swayed from the community way more than they used to be, just because of social media and stuff, right? So anyway, take that for
I mean,
what it
also
is.
the problem is like, you can't just fully abandon IGN because they get exclusive content from random game studios. Sometimes
Yeah.
you're like, if I want to see or know anything about this game, sometimes IGN gets that IGN first content. You're like, well, the only place I can watch it for 30 minutes of this game is if I go to them, and that kind of sucks because it's like, well,
Yeah.
shit, now I got to fucking give them a view.
So Mac22TH54 with a $5 super chat says, Pong, bang on. You can't spell ignorant without IGN. It's one of my favorite sayings
Fact.
when talking about them.
Fact.
Yeah. I've actually made a tweet that said the same thing. It's just like, if you're going to do it, at least do it universally.
Yeah.
You know? It's weird to pick and choose. So, all right, everybody. Yeah, Battlefield 6 is on the horizon. Despite the campaign review, I'm actually excited, and I seeing the trailers for the campaign and stuff. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. I kind of scrolled through some of the reviews and stuff, and just saw some of the snippets here and there. It seems like it's actually worth playing overall, the campaign on this one as well. So I'm actually looking forward to that. But man, I am really looking forward to this multiplayer. And like I said, I'm kind of more hyped even than I was for 2042, just because ever since that beta ended, that's what I've been wanting to do, is go back in and play Battlefield. But now we're getting the whole experience. I mean, we're gonna get Portal. and we're gonna get the whole shebang on there. And I think it was you that told me this, Pong. You can host like ongoing servers that even stay alive when you're not there.
Yeah,
like
I think actually Steele's the one who brought it up, and when he
persistent
was on a
servers?
couple
Okay.
weeks ago. Yeah, persistent servers. Yeah, they're going to allow you to have that too. Yeah. Yep.
So that sounds really cool. Like I might set up a fun speculation server with like set up different game modes and different maps and stuff of some of the classic Battlefield stuff that we love. And so if you guys want to see specific maps or modes, I don't know how customizable it is. I know like in the last portal we could have, equipment and stuff from past Battlefield games. So if you want to see those kind of things, whatever, hey, leave a comment. Hit me up in the DMs or whatever. But yeah, leave a comment preferably, and so I can see like suggestions for a fun speculation Battlefield server. Because I'm gonna be playing quite a bit at Battlefield, and I'll also be streaming it. So if we could get enough people to like fill up a server, that'd be pretty sick. Now, also you can leave them open, so once we get started, people will join it. It can just join into it, right? But yeah, I definitely want to do that. I want to talk about the history of Battlefield a little bit, because like we're on the eve of one of my most. Is this on anticipation
Sir, I did
list?
Sir, I did not know there was going to be a test tonight.
No, it's not a test. It's not a test, but like as far as anticipation level for games this year, where does this rank for you guys? Like, I'm pretty confident I know where Pong is going to sit on this one, but I'll go with Jasper first. Like, where does Battlefield 6 rank on your most anticipated games list this year?
So you want to just talk about history? I'm a longtime Battlefield vet. I would say Battlefield has probably always been like my number 2, like
Behind Call
most
of Duty,
liked
right?
shooter. No, like
Oh,
Halo's
Halo.
number 1
Okay,
for
okay.
shooter, and then Battlefield, and then Call of Duty. That's kind of how my shooter order goes for like most liked games. So I'm super excited for Battlefield 6. It's my number 1 most anticipated game. Like you were on 3-Bit Show the other night, and I was like, Battlefield 6 is already in my game of the year list, and I've only played the fucking beta.
Right. For me, it's number 1, I think. Like
Yeah.
beforehand, I had
mean,
said Outer Worlds 2, but like being realistic, like I'm more hyped for Battlefield.
Oh, Final Fantasy Tactics was number 1 for me.
Well, yeah, but it's already out. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I've been playing the shit out of it too, man. And fuck, oh, it's so good, dude.
I can't think of anything else this year that comes out that would top Battlefield right now for anticipation.
Yeah. For the games left this year, for sure, Battlefield 6 for me. What about you, Fuzz?
It's not
NASCAR
one of my most
25.
Yeah, NASCAR 25 is up there. But Battlefield 6 is up there, but also kind of talking with some of the people in the chat, Arc Raiders is up there as well. And
Yeah.
I like the fact that they're going to allow you to opt in or opt out of the wipe, which you can't do in Escape from Tarkov, and you could never keep your cosmetics, which I thought was stupid. They're going to allow you to keep your cosmetics, so I'm looking forward to that. But as far as Battlefield, I didn't really come into Battlefield until Battlefield 3 on PS3 and then Battlefield 4 on PS4. And those were amazing, even though I think the servers for Battlefield 4 were busted for a while. And then I just played the campaign until they figured it all out. But 2042 was a little bit of a letdown. Played only a little bit of Battlefield 1 and Battlefield V or Battlefield 5. Didn't play Hardline at all. But for the most part,
I think you would have really liked Hardline, Fuzzy. For some reason, correct me if I'm wrong, Pong, but it seems like a Fuzzy
Just because the movie
game.
element.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the
he would
campaign.
have loved the campaign.
aren't there car chases and stuff like that too,
Yeah.
or something like that?
It's like the LA Cops vibe, kind of. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's just
Dope.
really cool, man, and like it's real immersive too. You know.
Each like campaign mission is kind of like a TV show or whatever.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
don't know.
And then multiplayer has like
I
cops
forget
and
what-
robbers type modes and stuff too, with like car chases and stuff. So
I might have to check it out, but I think at that time I was so knee deep into, I think Drive Club was out at the time. Although Drive Club was broken online, but I was playing the offline mode for forever. And then I realized, oh, Forza, this game that they was supposed to kill, is out. Or Forza Horizon 2, and the rest is history on that. But
I
yeah,
think it was
I completely missed it.
2015 or so when it came out. 2015, 2016, something like that.
Yeah, so Drive Club would have been, I think, my biggest game at that point, around that time. But yeah, as far as Battlefield, aside from Battlefield 6, love the vehicle aspect. Hopefully, they don't have hovercrafts climbing buildings, and it didn't seem like that was the case in any of the betas or anything like that. So that was one of the 2042 things that was kind of weird. But yeah, I like some of the maps, like the Brooklyn map. It gives me a little bit of a more or a less desolate version of the Division being in Brooklyn kind of thing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I would say this is probably going to be one of the few years where I'll wind up giving Battlefield more playtime than Call of Duty, but we'll see how it goes.
yeah, right on, man. Yeah, I think Battlefield. This might be the most hyped Battlefield in a very long time, for sure. At least since last generation, I think. Like maybe in 10
I think
years.
Battlefield 1 had a lot of hype, but it was kind of like a different community.
I
feel
really
it almost-
liked both Battlefield 1 and 5.
Yeah.
I like the multiplayer.
5 was
It's horrible.
I had fun
God,
with it.
it was
I've never played a Battlefield online that I didn't have fun with.
Bro, I had fun with it after they fixed it, but the spawn points when that first dropped, oh my god, it was awful. You could not, you get spawn locked at the beginning of a match. Like that's how bad their spawn points were. It was no joke. It was like the one with the bridge with the train across through the city.
Yeah,
That one you could get spawn locked in the first 5 minutes. It was dumb as hell, bro. It was dumb as hell. Anyways,
I think like I just would randomly drop in and played. Now I don't know if you're playing with squads of like friends a lot or whatever, but I always kind of played Battlefield as a loner, a little bit.
And that was my thing.
Yeah, so I would just hop in and just like kind of do my own thing, and that's how I always. That's one of the reasons I love Battlefields, because you can kind of play your own way, and a lot of times there's like less pressure. You know what I mean? Where it's like you can fit a role how you want to, but it's not so fast paced. If you want to go out and snipe and like guard an objective, you can, or you want to all of a sudden you want to be a medic, you can do that, or you want to, you know what I mean? Like it's just whatever you're feeling at the time. But what do you think about most anticipated, Pong? Is this one number 1 or 2 or?
It's probably number 1. I was gonna tell Fuzzy we're not gonna have hovercrafts on buildings, but they are gonna have ladders that can be used as ramps. So we're gonna have tanks on buildings. I can guarantee you, people are gonna figure out a way to do tanks on buildings for sure. Anyways, yeah, I mean, Outer Worlds 2 is way up there for me as well because of what I've seen, but because I've played Battlefield 6 beta, and because I'm a Battlefield diehard through and through, like I said, if I would choose it over Call of Duty 10 out of 10 times, no matter what year, like you said, Mav.
Yeah.
Even the bad years, like I'd rather play Battlefield overall than a Call of Duty. I've had blasts with Call of Duty, but so yeah, to finally have a Battlefield that has gone back to its roots, as Zampello said he was going to do, with the excitement of the community around it and back, and the diehard Battlefield fans coming back in droves for this one. Already hearing that the Portal is getting some amazing creations, and knowing what the Battlefield community is going to be able to do there as far as level design and that kind of stuff goes. I'm not looking for the wacky stuff. I'm not into the wacky stuff, but I know some people are going to create some really awesome maps in there. Like this has all the makings of a classic Battlefield, which, like you said, we haven't gotten in over a decade. Like if they could pull this off, campaign or no campaign, again, I like the campaign, so I will definitely play the campaign, but I don't care whether or not it's good. If the multiplayer is back the way that we felt it is, and they've already made all the changes, listening to community, taking out the freaking crack addict, movement, Call of Duty movement, and already doing that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, this is probably my most anticipated game right now. Outer Worlds 2 is there for sure. Arc Raiders is there for sure, just because I'm not normally an extraction shooter guy, but Steele and I had such a freaking great time playing that I'm actually kind of excited for Embark and what they're doing over there. Man, we got Sacred 2 remaster coming out
I know,
next
man.
month too.
Yeah, and I was just looking at it like yesterday. I was going through like I don't know why I was going through my game library on Xbox of like games, and like I saw it there and I was like, maybe I should install it, but it's like, no, the remaster's coming.
It's coming out next month. Yeah, it's coming out next month. No, I mean, this year has been filled with such greatness. And like I said, I've obviously changed. Final Fantasy Tactics was obviously my number one because I'm waiting for it to come out now. Again, it's bad time because I don't have time. I'm not going to have a lot of time for Battlefield 6, so it's going to be extremely special to jump in with you guys when I get an opportunity to through the rest of this year. But yeah, it's got to be my most anticipated just because we haven't had anything like this, man. And the energy is palpable.
Yeah.
Like, there are people just like, the commercials, like, they've knocked it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
That last commercial where they made fun of Call of Duty, like, it was so perfect. We just have not had this competition where Battlefield actually is living up to the hype like this out the gate from day one. Now we'll see what the servers are like. That's always been an issue. We will, if they get the servers right this week.
I think they put out a tweet today and said they're ready for it, but we'll see.
Okay, okay. We've heard famous last words, everybody. But if they truly are, if EA is going all out and they're putting all their money now, private EA company now, if they're just going to say we are putting all of our eggs in this Battlefield basket, and they are going to just have an overabundance of servers paying the extra money, even if that's not needed, and this weekend goes off without nearly a hitch. I'm not expecting it to be perfect, but let's just say like it's overall excellent for most of the weekend with very few server problems, then they are so far ahead of any other Battlefield curve in recent memory. It's not even funny at that point. Like, the sky's the limit for this one at this point. Pre-sales are already supposedly 2 million on Steam alone. That's ridiculous. Like, this is going to be a full. The matches are going to be full. The everything is going to be lined up for them. Hopefully, they've got maps ready to go. Hopefully, they've got some content ready to go to keep everybody in. But yeah, man, this is.
I also think that
awesome.
If Battlefield kind of embraces Battlefield itself this year, the first week here, you're going to see these crazy TikToks, kind of like you did with Helldivers, possibly, where you just get people be like, "Oh, I just saw this crazy moment on TikTok. I'm going to go download that game so I can try to do that now too." Like, if you can get that kind of community moments and engagement, like, this game could be freaking ridiculously huge for a Battlefield game.
Only in Battlefield, bro.
Shout out to JMac, member for 36 long months. That's equal to 3 years, bro. Appreciate you, JMac, as always,
Shout
dude.
out to the Graybeards.
He says, been a while since we've had this kind of hype. Yeah, that's absolutely. And it's refreshing, too, like, where we always, all the talk of AAA gaming and being in the doldrums and not living up to potential and all that stuff. Like, we're getting a couple of games a year at least right now. It seems like that kind of like hit that level. Like last year, College Football 25 was kind of like that, right? Whereas like this phenomenon that came out of retirement and came back and it was like a huge thing. And now Battlefield 6 seems like it's really gonna hit to a huge level. And it's kind of refreshing to see like that amount of hype and excitement for a big game, whether it's EA, 2K, whatever. I don't care. It's just all platforms. Xbox fans are excited for it. PlayStation fans are excited for it. Sorry, Nintendo fans, you don't get Battlefield 6. PC gamers are excited for it. So it's cool to see the hype.
I mean, you can tell that it's working because Call of Duty is changing everything that they've had locked down for 7+ years. Be like, okay, we'll reverse it finally.
Yeah, well, they're getting made fun of now, and
Yeah.
and it's kind of fun to see the waves, like the ups and downs too. Like Call of Duty's been the behemoth for so long, and I think it still will be. It's just
Yeah.
gonna, but every other year right now, like Call of Duty kind of has like, okay, well, this one's not as popular. Then it gets like the next game is like has all the hype. Like Black Ops 6 had all the hype in the world. Black Ops 7, it seems like mostly people are like, it's another Call of Duty, right? But the Battlefield 2042 would have had a lot of hype if they didn't stumble along the way, and then they hit those stumbles, and it kind
Halo
of
was just so good that year.
well, that's funny. Like, remember they blamed it on Halo. Yeah, it's fun. It's funny you say that because in a little bit I'm going to get into another conversation about shooters in general. But I'm distracted because the Eagles ran 4 tush pushes in a row. I mean, I'm sorry. I have the game on back here. I see, and I have Twitter over here, so I'm kind of keeping up with Thursday Night Football. The Eagles ran 4 tush pushes in a row, bro. When is this going to end? Somebody's got to figure out a way to stop this thing. It is absolutely ridiculous. 4 in a row.
I mean, other teams can do it too. I mean,
I don't want, if this becomes like football and this is what we see every like third down and fourth down of just that shit. I hope that the other teams are refusing to do it just because it's so fucking boring and stupid that they know it's going to ruin football forever. Well, there was a thing where they were trying to get it overruled because of like injury concerns over certain things with it, and that didn't work. So yeah, it's still allowed, and it was like 3rd and 2 or something near the goal line, and they ran 2 in a row to get the first down, then they ran 2 more to get in the end zone. Four of them in a fucking row, man. My gosh. Anyway, how boring. So Battlefield 6. Yeah, my most anticipated for the rest of the year right now. But what about like what is your favorite Battlefield of all time? Like which one will Battlefield 6 have to surpass to become your favorite Battlefield? Let's start with you, Jasper.
So I've played every single Battlefield except for 2041, the mech one that was like came out in like 2005.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only one I never played. So for me, this is kind of a difficult question because like Battlefield 2 has so much nostalgia for me. The PC one, not the Modern Combat console one, because that's 2 different games. So I want to say that one, but then I also want to say Battlefield 3 just due to the multiplayer itself, because that's the first time I ever really played online Battlefield was Battlefield 3, I think, or maybe Bad Company 1. Whichever one came out first. But Battlefield 3 was a game changer for me when it came to multiplayer Battlefield. So I think it has to kind of top that because I put so many hours into it. But then also, man, this is so fucking hard because Bad Company 2 I put so many hours into. I'll say Bad Company. I'll say Battlefield 3 because at the time when Battlefield Bad Company first came out, I didn't like Bad Company because it was a massive change in a direction of what Battlefield was. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is not what Battlefield was at the time.
Why are we playing so much Rush? I want to play Conquest. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to say Battlefield 3. It has to top Battlefield 3's multiplayer.
Okay. Fair enough. What about you, Fuzz? Now you weren't the biggest Battlefield fan, but overall, do you have a favorite?
for me, it was Battlefield 4. Unfortunately, I didn't play Bad Company. I think as long as I can get comfortable with the vehicles,
Yeah.
more so the jets than the helicopters, I think this will top what I wanted in 4. So, but the destruction, the close quarter stuff, it's already up there. So I just need to get more comfortable with the vehicles.
Right on. Shout out to Web Dave, member for 14 months. Says Mav, Pong, Fuzzy, Jasper, Xbox Forever, TTS, hashtag no PS6. I've seen that a lot. There's so many next gen talks going on right now online because like leak specs for things apparently. Apparently leak specs for the next gen Xbox stuff and leak specs for PS6 stuff and everything. And it was like Xbox is looking really powerful with what they're going with, and maybe PlayStation not so much. I don't know what's going on. I haven't really kept up too much with it, but yeah, I've seen a lot. I saw King David making some tweets about it, so it's got to be some interesting stuff out there. Pong Soul. Is it? I mean, Battlefield 4 for you?
No, it's Bad
Okay,
Company.
okay, good. Which one though?
Bad Company
2?
What? Bad Company 2.
Yeah.
Bad Company.
Okay.
2. Yeah, Bad Company 2. Personally, Bad Company 2 because I absolutely adored the campaign. Right, I adored the campaign
Best
of both Bad Companies, but
yeah.
best campaign, hand down. Bad Company.
One of
2
the
had,
better first-person shooter campaigns
Yeah.
in general, especially like,
absolutely,
especially based on like war, like not like
Yeah.
I think Halo campaigns are the best, like as far as first-person shooter campaigns go, and then Call of Duty maybe some of them. Battlefield generally no, except for those two.
Oh no, they were so well written, it wasn't even funny.
Yeah.
It just the comedy, all of it, it just all hit for me. So that on top of I absolutely loved. I mean, I just love the idea that I love the multiplayer for me personally as well. I loved all the maps in that game. I actually could snipe in Bad Company 2, which for me is ultra rare that I can snipe in any first person shooter. But like Bad Company 2, I was actually good at it for a while. Like that again, not comparatively to what we see people do now, but I'm just saying for me, I was actually comfortable with the sniper, which was freaking fantastic. I absolutely love that. I will say that like 3 and 4 hold the biggest memories for me just because my kiddo got old enough at that point to really start getting competitive and actually playing. And between 3 and 4, he became a freaking excellent helicopter pilot. Like excellent. He like sat in practice, and I've told this story before. While I was at work, when he'd get home from school, he would go and play Battlefield and practice flying that helicopter, and he got so good, man. We were flying in and out of buildings, like he was dropping us off. Like it was dope, man. So my memories, my core memories with him obviously make 3 and 4 special, but obviously just for me personally, Bad Company 2, just hands down, campaign and multiplayer, just freaking amazing, man. Just absolutely amazing. Yep.
I personally agree. That was my favorite. But the Bad Company games, both in general, but especially 2, was my favorite. Behind that, I would put Battlefield 4 and 3, right? And then I could go down a list after that, but I mean they're all enjoyable.
42 was
and
great
fun.
too. 42 was really great too.
Yeah.
So or 43, whatever it was. Battlefield 43. Was it
the
43?
arcade 43 was the arcade one that came out for like $20.
Yeah.
It was just one map or whatever.
Yeah, but it was awesome.
It was fun.
It was freaking good. Yeah, it was fun as hell.
Yeah, I Bad Company 2, like I love the classes in it. I think they really did a great job with the abilities with the classes for the maps. That was also
were those open weapons map or closed?
Closed, because I could only use the I could for sniper I could only use the recon's like scope with the mortar with the sniper.
Correct.
You know, with the recon class, like
as it should be, everybody, as it should be. Anyway, sorry.
And like, but like, I love the abilities for the classes, in like each separately. I thought they just was a great balance, but also each made you feel like a badass with each one, that you had something really cool and fun to use. The destruction was next level. It was just absolutely insane. I think that game probably had maybe the best destruction out of all of them.
Yes.
The way that the walls would crumble felt like more organic and not like set up. You know what I mean? It's like if a artillery shell or a tank shell hit a wall in a spot, that's where the hole would show up. And you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like, hey, enough damage is done to this, the whole thing's just falling right now. Like, it was really well done with that. I love the way that the maps were based around the rush mode, and
They were built from the ground up for Rush.
Right.
That's the
Yep.
that was
and
the
they
point.
worked
Yep.
so good, man. Like the
Correct.
points to defend and attack, they were so balanced that there was a way, if you knew how to play the maps, to get around any obstacle if you're on offense, but you have to work together and make sure you're approaching it correctly. But also on defense, there was always a way to make sure you're holding down the fort right. Like, so they were just balanced so well. And that was also the one where I actually also flew the helicopter and got decent with it. Like, I was actually flying around using the helicopter in Battlefield Bad Company 2.
Bro, you put
and
me in a
stuff.
Black Hawk, I could just circle the map and just have door gunners the whole fucking match. Like,
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know what it was about that one, but like usually I stay away from the like vehicles more so or especially the air vehicles in Battlefield games, because I like crash pretty quickly. But in that one specifically, it's like you could learn to get really good with it and drop people off, pick people up, go around, and or just gunning in one and having a good pilot too. The maps were really good for that too. So I don't know.
I will say, like,
loved it.
Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3 are probably the last time I felt like people actually did what the classes did.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because, like, Bad Company 2, like, the engineer, if you had engineers that knew what they were doing, they would put tank mines down, and your tanks are not getting through this bitch.
No, never. That was one of my favorite things to do, especially in town, like on Rush and stuff.
Yeah.
You could have mines from here, but they would never disappear. You could lay like so many, and you would just have minefields, and anybody rolling in was dead, bro. Like, it was awesome. Yeah, Jasper, great memory.
And then you got the recon with the tracker dart. If you had a recon dude and an engineer, like you recon the helicopter, and then the recons or the engineers all have the lock on rockets. You can take down helicopters. Like, teamwork mattered back then. I felt like more so.
Correct.
Am I mistaken, or did the ground crater also in that game?
From the
Yeah, a little bit.
landmines, you got small craters and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it
I-
wasn't severe deformation.
Well, I remember, like, for some reason I remember, like, around the the rush points, the bomb, like, where you like arm them and stuff, like
yeah.
if they're end up becoming like lots of little craters around there or something, and being able to like lay in them to kind of hide, or
some
like,
of that.
you know what I mean?
Laying in the rubble was the best, like a down
Yeah.
building, and you'd find like one little crevice.
Yeah,
you could get
like this
into.
little like wall
Right.
that's leaning on another
Yeah.
wall, and you're like,
yeah, you're like in there.
yeah,
Like,
he
it
can
was so good.
barely see, and they can't see me. Oh yeah, that's great. So many good memories. Like that's something you touched on earlier, Jasper, is like your ranking of like first person shooter franchises. Like, I want to know in general, like, where this stands. Like, now, Jasper, you already answered this. You said that Halo, Battlefield, Call of Duty, and then Battlefield, or is it Battlefield and Call of Duty?
No, it was Halo number 1, Battlefield number 2, Call of Duty number 3.
Okay.
Because I always grew up like Halo and Battlefield were the first shooters that I really ever played, and then Call of Duty I kind of jumped in towards Call of Duty 3, Big Red 1. That was like the first Call of Duty I played, but I was playing Battlefield and Halo before I ever touched Call of Duty. So
yeah. Is there any others that are like close to making?
I mean,
like,
I can't think of any like. I mean, I never played Counter-Strike. I know a lot of people love Counter-Strike, but I've played it before, but it just never really clicked with me. Like, I can't think of any. Yeah, I don't really count those as much. Like, I don't know. Maybe because I haven't been around for 20 years, but
yeah.
I think the big three is Halo, Call of Duty, and Battlefield. I don't think of any others that kind of come to that level. Maybe because they just haven't been around long enough.
Yeah. What about you, Fuzz?
I'm more of the third person shooter guy with,
Yeah.
with things
The
like Division
Division,
and stuff,
yeah.
but like I guess this just goes to show my age. Doom, just because I've played it from Sega and PC all the way up to now. But I would say between Call of Duty and Battlefield, it's a tough call. never as much into Halo because, like I said, I was a PS3 guy, and I couldn't really stand what was it, Killzone? Like Killzone just wasn't for me. Resistance was more of my speed, but then again, it reminded me more of a mod of like Half-Life in a way. So
Yeah.
that was always the ones I loved growing up. But like as far as now, between Battlefield and Call of Duty, until they did that Omni movement, I would say Battlefield probably hands down. But Omni movement definitely kind of brought them closer because you could kind of do that in Battlefield for a while, it seemed, but now that you can do it in Call of Duty, it kind of helps. But I just like the pacing of Battlefield more.
Yeah.
Another notable that I try to get you guys to play that I know you guys probably think sucks was Insurgency Sandstorm. That was like a much smaller team kind of.
Put a few hours in that.
I actually really like that game, Fuzz. I don't know why I didn't play it more. I think it was too fucking hard. It was. It's like my kind of game. I looked at it as like graphics are great. It was ultra realistic simulation style. Like I love that shit. I remember playing on the 360. Fuck, what was that ultra sim war game? Was Operation Fire Storm or Fire Break or fuck? I can't remember what it's called.
Operation. There was a few of them. They all started with Operation though.
Yeah, and it was like a big open area, and it was like, hey, you got it. Like you bleed out and stuff, and like you move really slow. It was such great. I love those kind of games, man. And like Insurgency kind of reminded me of that. It's dark. You can't see shit. You have all your teammates and stuff. You got to work together. But anytime I play it, it's like, fuck, man. I'm not doing well. So I keep
Flashpoint Dragon.
Operation Flashpoint. Thank you. Yep. Yes, dude. Yep.
That was by Codemasters, right?
Yeah. Those are the kind of games like you're having a better experience working and playing with people that and you're communicating, So I need to play that with you at some point. Yeah, man. What about you, Pong? What about rankings?
Are we just talking multiplayer or are we just talking any first-person shooters?
I mean, generally like multiplayer kind of shooters,
Well, I mean, because obviously Battlefield is number one for me.
Yeah.
Titanfall is up there.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Titanfall. I love both of them. I don't care what anybody says. I love both of them. Obviously Call of Duty's there. I was going to bring up Medal of Honor. Medal of Honor is one of my favorite all-time for.
Yeah.
Right? But
they just don't make them anymore.
Multiplayer was never that huge, but the Medal of Honor single player campaigns were fucking fantastic.
The last few Medal of Honors on the 360, where they kind of started becoming more like Battlefield, those I know a lot of people hated those, but I loved the multiplayer in those.
Airborne was freaking amazing, bro. I loved Airborne, bro. And then the newer ones like Warfighter and shit, those were good too. Yeah. But yeah, I'd probably have to say Battlefield. If you're talking multiplayer, Battlefield, Titanfall, and Call of Duty. I'd probably say overall, for sure.
Right on, man. It's funny that you mentioned Medal of Honor, Titanfall, Call of Duty, and Battlefield.
It's all Zampella.
All of Zampella. Vince Zampella, man.
It's all Vince Zampell's touched them all now. Which is nuts.
After we play Battlefield 6, if it's our favorite Battlefield, like that, Vince Zampella is just insane with making these kind of games. Yep. It went from Medal of Honor to creating Call of Duty to creating Titanfall to reviving Battlefield and fixing it. Yeah, it's just absolutely bonkers, man. For me, like Halo's number one, and it always will be. Like just the nostalgia that I have for it back. Like Halo 2 is my favorite multiplayer game of all time. Like it was just next level, right? So after that, I'd probably, just because of the consistency and the amount of games that I have loved, I would say Battlefield. And then like Call of Duty
Wait, sorry, Matt. Real quick fun fact though. DICE did work on Medal of Honor, and they did use the Frostbite engine.
Yeah, for the Warfighter stuff.
That's fucked up. Yeah, for Warfighter and the other one. Yeah, that's really I did not even remember that was actually the case. Interesting. Sorry.
That's what I thought.
just pulled
That's
it up
kind of
and I
why I
was
thought
like,
they
wait, what?
killed. That's why they killed Medal of Honor basically because
That's
they're
why
like,
they
we're already making Battlefield. Why
I
are we doing
remembered
this?
obviously I knew it was EA, right? I knew it was EA, but I did not know it was actually DICE and that they actually started using the Frostbite engine too. Like, okay, that makes even more now it's kind of floating back. I just pulled it up to look at the Medal of Honor games again, and sure enough, holy shit. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I know that's cool. I didn't
History.
even know that. I don't think I played that Medal of Honor.
I did.
The
It was
airborne
like-
is the
like Jasper
airborne
said,
one with the
Airborne was before Frostbite. Airborne
Yeah, it was
was
World War
Okay.
II.
that was a World War II one again, right? And then they moved to the modern ones, and they had Medal of Honor, and then they had Medal of Honor Warfighter,
right.
and those were on Frostbite. Those were done by DICE, and they became
Okay.
too samey with Battlefield. That makes sense now because I totally forgotten that. But yeah, I did play those too. Like Jasper said, not a lot of people liked them, but I freaking enjoyed the hell out of them because again, it was DICE and Frostbite.
Right. Yeah, so Halo 1, probably Battlefield 2, and Call of Duty like used to probably be like 2 or 3 for me back in the day at one point. Like when Call of Duty 4 Call of Duty 4 by Infinity Ward, just the original one, Modern Warfare came out. That was like next level. I just got obsessed with it and played Modern Warfare 2, like first Black Ops game. Like that was like my height of Call of Duty. And I've liked Call of Duty since then, and I've really enjoyed it, and I play it every year, except for Vanguard. I didn't touch that one. But it still doesn't like have that level that Halo or Battlefield does for me when they come out, you know. And maybe it's because Call of Duty comes out every year, so it's like a given, you know. But one that had always stood there was Far Cry for me. Not necessarily for multiplayer in the current times because they kind of gotten away from that, but back in the day, like multiplayer was a big part of Far Cry, or at least it was for a small community of gamers where they kind of latched onto it and kind of did their own thing with it because the map editor and stuff they used to have was next level. Still nobody has touched it as far as being able to be anywhere near as good and being able to make your own maps, set up your own kind of game modes, and play with people on all your creations and have this kind of like community around that stuff was awesome back in the day. And it's one of the things I want to see them bring back. But Far Cry would be kind of fighting along with Call of Duty, I would say. In fact, I was really excited because my daughter told me that she has plans this week to play Far Cry 5 this weekend. Because she's never played a Far
I think
Cry
that's
game.
the problem that I've had with Far Cry ever since Far Cry 2. Like the physics have just kind of gotten worse. Like Far Cry 2,
Yeah.
you could burn down a whole fucking jungle, and that's like
Mm-hmm.
there was so many like
fire. That was a
custom.
new thing with Far Cry
Yeah.
2. It was a big
I
selling
know
point.
it was so good in that too, and like just the custom games that people made for Far Cry 2. Like ever since then, I feel like Far Cry's just kind of slowly kept going down.
Well, what happened was Far Cry 3 had the big success when they had with Voss as the villain
campaign.
with the campaign. And then once they had that level of success with doing that kind of campaign and stuff, it's just that became the identity of the franchise. So 4 had the same thing. 5 has the same thing. 6, they all have the one like antagonist that's like the big selling point of the game. And a lot of the other stuff that they used to focus on, like the map editors, the multiplayer components and stuff, kind of like were just tacked on. You know what I mean? But back then, man, it was awesome. In fact, the original Far Cry Instincts on Xbox is what got me to stop playing Halo 3. Like I got obsessed with it. Like literally, like it just like it was I can't remember trying to talk to my friends like, you got to get Far Cry, man. You got to get Far Cry. You got to get Far Cry. And then like they did, and they were like, I don't want to play it. I want to play Halo. And so, but yeah, Far Cry is awesome. And then like I will throw out there my nostalgia for Ghost Recon, even though it's a third person, and Rainbow Six
Oh, now you're
even though it's
changing the
third
rules.
person. I know. I'm
Yeah.
just throwing out the.
Okay,
just
because
throwing
then we
those
got
out there.
Lost Planet.
But
Okay, because then Lost Planet's in there.
You can play Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six
I will
back in the day in first
I
person.
I would add Rainbow Six to that list because Rainbow
Yeah.
Six has been around for a long time.
It
so
has.
I
It
could
has,
add Rainbow
but-
Six to that list.
None of us said Star Wars Battlefront. I'll say Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Battlefront was freaking amazing.
It's really fun.
Freaking
I overheated an original Xbox playing Battlefront 2 for like 20 hours straight.
Yeah, I've just always loved multiplayer shooters. I used to be way more competitive with it, like in my 20s and stuff, you know. But like as it got older, it kind of just became more of this, hey, I'm just gonna hop in and have some fun, you know. But some of the best times you have gaming is when you get when you kind of start to get that no life mode, where it's like every night you just get super competitive with that shooter that you're playing, you know, and you play one for months on end, and you start to get better and better, and once the better you get, the more competitive you get, and the more pissed you get when you lose or don't do, you know. Those can be fun times. So shout out to Battlefield 6. I think it's gonna bring that. I think Battlefield 6 is gonna do for Battlefield like what, I don't know, Halo 3 did, or what maybe Modern Warfare, maybe the new Modern Warfare 2018 did for Call of Duty, kind of like a resurgence. Not that Halo 3 was a resurgence, but it had a lot of pressure on it, you know. So anyway, it's kind of my nostalgia-ville there for gaming and stuff. We did have a little bit of other stuff to talk about, not a whole lot. We had talked a little bit about the leaks for Xbox Next Gen stuff going on around there. Now, there was reports last week that Xbox was not going to make hardware anymore. There's rumors swirling around by somebody on Reddit or something. I think, was it Reddit or Reset Era? One of the two.
Reset or Neo, or something.
And it created a uproar. Now, this happened right after the Game Pass price increase announcements. The media was all talking about it. Game people, I think 3-Bit said even people at work were talking to him about it. Like people that aren't gamers and stuff, really. So overall, like, there was this big thing where it's like, hey, Xbox getting out of the hardware space and stuff, and they're in deep discussions about doing that. And then it came out like people were saying no, it's not true. Xbox ended up making a statement that no, like, if you want to see our plans, just refer to our thing we announced a couple months ago with AMD about our plans for the future and stuff. And then somebody sent, I think all of us, a DM, I won't say who, that said like, hey, maybe they heard some of the rumblings from the same thing that the rumors were, but it could have been maybe the same person that was starting the rumors in the first place. Who knows? But they heard it from somebody in a Xbox-owned studio, right? So it's like, don't really know what to think overall. I mean, obviously Xbox made the announcement and said that. Huge implications on the company and their own personal hardware. But as this was happening, I also was kind of in the mindset, well, for me, if Microsoft doesn't make a Xbox next generation, and Asus does, or Lenovo does, or whatever, if I boot it up and it's like a hybrid PC thing that we all think this thing is going to be, that they've pretty much already said, as they said, multiple storefronts, right? If you boot it up and it's the same experience as it would be if it was manufactured by Microsoft, boots up into that Xbox mode and you can do everything you could otherwise, I don't know what the difference is personally, other than who the manufacturer is and being able to subsidize the price a little bit more. And I guess them being a little bit more control over the product that they make and the pricing. So for me, it wasn't really a huge scare that I think a lot of people was, because regardless, we're still getting devices, whether they actually make their own or not, I think. And as we already talked about before on this show, like I felt like, hey, if anything happens, that would be what ends up happening. Like if they decide not to do anything in the future, it would be their own stuff. But we would still get third party stuff as Xboxes. Just like the Asus ROG Ally X, Xbox ROG Ally, or whatever. So anyway, I was just curious. Do you think that there was actually, even though they came out and made the statement, Fuzzy, I'll start with Fuzzy on this one. Do you think even though they came out and made the statement, do you still think there is some truth to the conversations going on that they may not make their own dedicated hardware?
I think there's conversation about that, but not in place of the next console. Like I still think the next console is going to be a Microsoft made device. After that, or even during that generation, could we see third party ones? I think that's a possibility. That would kind of counter like maybe a possible mid-gen refresh. You'll have whatever the Xbox spec is, that'll be like your standard. And then maybe Asus for like an extra $200 or $300 has one with, instead of 24 gigabytes of memory, they'll have 32 or more even, kind of thing. But I don't think there were any serious conversations leading to next gen where they weren't going to make their own device. I think that was always in the plan and will continue to be in the plan up until we get the device in hand, kind of thing. And I think after that, then they may revisit, leaving it solely in third party hands. Because the biggest drawback when you leave it in third party hands is that you're relying on them to meet your standards and, keep everything updated or up to date and working properly and so forth. And you don't want to kiss away, although the Game Pass pricing may have shot some of those numbers, but you don't want to kiss away 35 million plus subscribers that are constant recurring revenue. You don't want to, end your ecosystem or the foot in the door of your ecosystem, where that would definitely leave people either stuck in the previous generation of hardware or possibly move them to competition hardware, which I don't think they even want to consider at this moment. I don't think there's so little of a ecosystem now for them that they would be willing to say, you know what, let everybody have a piece of the pie. We'll just do software. I don't think they're at that revenue point where there isn't enough coming in from their ecosystem. So hardware, their own hardware, I think was always in the cards. I think that rumor, not without poking fun, like I heard some funny rumors about who sneakers may have been, or whatever the name the forum member's name was, but it's probably somebody that we have seen on social media always taking jabs at Xbox, that used to work at Xbox or at least at Microsoft. So who knows if any of that's true, but I don't think there was ever a question of them not making whatever comes after the Series X. I think that was, written ever since they stopped R&D on the Series X. I think they had already at least had a rough idea of what they would look to do next. And then once the AMD announcement, or probably 6 months to that AMD announcement, they probably had a real good idea of what we're going to have in hand probably next holiday or so. Not this 2025 holiday, but maybe 2026 holiday.
Yeah.
When it rains, it pours for Xbox. Somebody could say, oh, well, and we're seeing it now with Halo. So we'll see how many other bad news stories between now and the tournament when they unveil whatever's next come out. Now, could there be other issues? Sure, but people will say everything from, oh, well, they're going to bring Bonnie Ross back, or they're going to. No, that's a whole nother can of worms that they're going to pile on. But the hardware, I think somebody was just purposely trying to make, gaming media focus on Xbox, so it takes away from the fact that nobody's really talking about Ghost of Yotai. I mean, some are. A lot of people are now hating Skillip for his review, but all in all, you would think if your preferred platform is only releasing one or two of their own first party stuff, that there would be more focus. And sure, there's some numbers, and the numbers are pretty good, but not anywhere near compared to what the first one did in that same type of time period. But we'll see how it works out for them. But yeah, hardware, there was no question, or at least all the stuff that I heard as far as hardware related things, there was no question of them not, making hardware for next gen.
Mm-hmm.
They have like their test case for the third party stuff coming out in like a couple of days now. But they're still going to make their own stuff. The question would have been more so on the handheld, which some people even said their handheld was canceled, and the whole thing that AMD wanted 10 million. Those are the same people that also said the Series S was canceled, or Lockhart, and it was just a code name was canceled. So we'll see if there's any truth to that 2 years from now. I still think that handheld that they make, unless they completely screwed the pooch with Game Pass PC pricing, I still think they're going to have a device as far as a handheld at some point as well from their own engineering and stuff.
Yeah, right on, man. I mean, I hope so. It'd be really cool. Like I'm curious what it'll look like and features and all that kind of stuff. What about you, Jasper? Do you see all the rumblings and the rumors going on? And you think there was any truth to the fact that they're mulling that over, or do you think we're getting something next gen for sure made by Microsoft?
So I did see it. I do think there is. I mean, I think there's a grain of truth to it because, like Fuzz was saying, like I'm sure Microsoft has had these conversations. Is like, do we continue to make hardware for Xbox and stuff at this point? Now that being said, I fully expect Microsoft is going to make their own console next year, and I kind of also agree that Microsoft may start licensing out their OS or whatever to third parties, like you were saying, Asus, Lenovo, to make essentially Steam machines. Especially if Valve gets back into that and they start making Steam machines, all these companies have to do is they can give you the same hardware and just load a different OS on it. And the way Microsoft is probably going to do it, if I had to guess, is I don't think you'll see these third parties like the first year or two. You'll probably see them closer towards the end of the generation, if I had to guess. I mean, that's just me talking at my ass. But they have to meet whatever this base model Xbox is. They have to meet that requirement. Your games have to be able to run on that. But you can go over that, and I think you start to see like a slow death of console generations. Like you may get one after this next generation just to kind of be like, oh, this is our new control set that you have to meet for consoles itself. And that may be kind of the new era of where console goes. And then after that, I don't see Microsoft making their own Xbox at that point because they'll be like, we just license out our Xbox OS.
Everybody else
and whatever
is doing
company
it.
wants to,
Exactly.
yeah, whatever company wants to make hardware and put our OS on that, they can. And by that point, the Xbox OS itself may just be Windows. So who knows? But that's kind of where I see the console generation and market going.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense. But what about you, Pong?
This is Microsoft we're talking about. Nothing would shock me. Again, as I go back to our last conversation last week, this is Microsoft Gaming now. This is no longer, it's Xbox in name only. If they decided to cancel the console that is supposedly still being made 2 months prior to launch, I wouldn't shock me in the least. Okay. Again, they've done this time and time again in their history. They did it with Nokia. They just don't care. When they get to this point and Microsoft is taken over, they don't care. They don't care about people's feelings. They don't care about what it means. They will still make millions and billions of dollars by producing software if they decide to keep all the studios. That's just pure and simple. And it wouldn't shock me if they exited the entire thing and had a fire sale and sold off everything. Like it just, this is Microsoft. And again, I think people forget that this is not the Xbox that you guys grew up with when you bought the OG Xbox anymore. And I say you guys because I didn't own an Xbox until the 360, right? I played my buddy's Xbox, my buddy's OG Xbox. That's, you know, obviously where I first experienced it. I thought it was great. But I'm just saying, this is not the same company anymore, guys. This is not. They're on a different trajectory, and Microsoft now is in full control, and they don't care. So it wouldn't shock me if these discussions have happened. Do I think if I was a betting man on this kind of situation, do I think they still put one out? I do, and I think that it will be the last. It could be, as Jasper said, the last hurrah from first party hardware. But I think that if Phil and Sarah have any say anymore in any of this, right? I think this is their final swan song for the hardware sector, but I think it's their final goodbye to the fan base that has supported Xbox through all these generations. And I think they will put out one, even to put out a hybrid, but to also put out one last, I think, and people might laugh at this, but I still think it's a big part of what they promised. I think they will put out one last extra hard disk drive that you can buy separately, so that they keep their promise that that everybody's library will come forward, because they still have not addressed what they're going to do for everybody with physical discs. And obviously, you need to have a disk drive to accommodate those people, because there's no way they're going to come up with some grandiose technology to allow you to transfer those discs to digital at this point, right? And I just don't think they're going to put the R&D into doing that anymore at this point for where they are as a company. So I think they will, like I said, if Sarah and Phil have, and I think that's why Phil's still there to this degree, I think this is their last goodbye. And I think they will do this, and I think they will put it out. Now, I disagree with a little bit with Jasper as far as whether or not third party comes out first. I think they do put out third party first. I think there's a chance third party shows up as a test, kind of like a test bed, just like they're doing with the ROG Ally X. I think they might allow third parties to come out first and then have their actual first party hardware come out a year later. I still think that might be still in the books. But we'll see. Maybe they're further along. Maybe they are ready for a first party launch next year. But I think it will be one last one, and I think it will be as pricey as hell. I think they will go big, right? I do think. I don't know about the tech that everybody's kind of talking about, the leaks or whatever else the case may be, but I've said this from the beginning when we've talked about this. This is going to be for the enthusiasts. So if they're going to put out an Xbox hardware and it's going to be their one last shining moment in the hardware business, I think they go out with a bang. I think they put out a hell of a piece of hardware. Their hardware has always been great outside the Red Ring of Death. Okay, granted, the Red Ring of Death was massive failure, but they fixed it for the most part. But their hardware has been great, right? Xbox One was great. Everything kind of, even the OG Xbox was just a tank that just survived, right? So, and the series consoles have been fantastic as a hardware, if you want to talk about hardware. So I think they're going to go out with a bang. I think this thing's going to be expensive. I think they're going to put everything they can into it. And I think that they will try to make some waves with this. I don't think it's a completely closed door yet. It's such a mountain to climb, but I think they can make waves, as we've talked about previously, with this type of system that could, if done correctly, become, even as an expensive add-on, could become something just so cool that there's people out there who are PlayStation fans or Nintendo fans that just want to own it, to have access to Steam and Epic along with the Xbox, side of things, as an addition to their living room. I think there's still a possibility that they pull this off to a certain degree where they make enough noise that maybe they reconsider staying in the hardware business overall. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I still think it happens if I had to be a betting man.
Yeah,
I also want to add a prediction. I took some of Fuzzy's tea leaves and I'm going to smoke them real quick. So my
Be
prediction
careful, you
is
might get
Is that
tested.
legal? Is that legal? Like, yeah, you're gonna get kicked out the voting.
But my prediction is I think around the launch of whatever this next gen console is, I think we see Phil step down like either a few months before or like just right at launch, because I think he sees the writing on the wall. It's like,
Yeah.
I think it's my time. So
Well, I think it
that's
was
gonna be my-
already his time. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I agree with
Yeah.
you, Jasper, because if you go back and listen to some of our shows last year when we
Yeah.
talked about, I said that I've been saying that for a while when we talked about Phil retiring. I thought that he would launch the next gen and then step away at that
Yes.
point. This was to be his final baby out the door, right? And I think
Yeah.
so. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to find out what happens. Like Pong, for me, all bets are off the table at this point. I have honestly no clue what's gonna happen. All the predictions that I've made about where I believe gaming was going to go into the future has happened at a much faster pace than I imagined. Like we were talking earlier, like early episodes of our podcast about some of the stuff we're seeing today, talking about like 2 generations into the future, and people were calling us crazy. It'll never be like that and stuff. But like we're already seeing these changes being made like now, and like the thing that I've learned most about Microsoft over the years is that they are willing to completely change strategies like on a whim. It's like they have their we know they have their short-term like kind of near midterm and then long-term plans. Like they do their forecasts like, hey, we're looking at the next year, we're looking at the next 2 to 3 years, and we're looking at the next 10 years, right? They're always thinking in those regards. We've heard them talk in interviews about that as well. But how quickly they throw away their long-term plans or even their midterm plans to completely reverse course and change direction and do something different happens all the time at Xbox and Microsoft. And yeah, it happens a lot with companies, but especially them. Like they will be doing something and say it publicly, and then 3 months later, it's like, we're doing this instead now, right? And it's just the way that they operate, especially now that the money guys are really the ones in charge of the table, right? So it's hard to say for sure what will happen. Now, right now, they could be dedicated 100%, they feel like, to making this next gen hardware, right? Themselves. Right. But let's say, hey, the Xbox ROG Ally X does gangbusters way better than they ever imagined. And they're like, well, we really like working with Asus, and we really like working with those third-party companies. And guess what? We're not having to worry about the hardware or manufacturing it. We just help develop it behind the scenes with like our software and stuff and make sure everything's up to snuff. And we're a software company, and maybe that's where our bag is, and that's what we're going to be best at. And they could say, well, why don't we take that approach with the consoles? Because we already had talked about that. And that's maybe in the long-term plans. But the other thing I've learned a lot about Microsoft is they are really forward-thinking. And if they think that there's a multi-step approach to reach an end goal, sometimes they will just say, fuck it, we're just going to end goal right now, even if it's too early. and the consumers, the fan base, or anybody else isn't prepared for it. They would rather go ahead and shoot for the future because they know that's where things are going anyway, and try and push everybody there, right? Whereas like PlayStation was like, they're going to wait for stuff to happen in the markets to get settled before they jump into that stuff. Or, so it's like hard to ever know 100% what Xbox is going to remain committed to. I don't think there will be a time when we can't access our TV in our living room and be able to grab a controller and hit a button and have something launch that says Xbox. I think that will always, for at least the long term, be a thing. How we access that Xbox launching onto our screen, accessing the store and everything within it, the ecosystem, who makes that device, or maybe eventually it's just the cloud, and if it gets good enough, or maybe whatever, who knows? I don't know, right? Like, I think
feels
technology is going to dictate that more so than anything. And the thing about Microsoft being a technology company, they're the ones that kind of push that stuff. So
it kind of takes me back to like how cell phones nowadays works. Like I feel like Xbox is kind of more of the Android route where you can have different companies make Android phones,
yes.
and PlayStation is the Apple route where it's like, no, you buy our thing. This is our thing, and
100%.
No one else does it.
Yeah, and that's the same with like Windows and Apple, like Microsoft and Apple.
Yeah.
Right, like that was kind of the thing. Like Windows was the open ecosystem, and then Apple was that closed ecosystem, right? So that was a big difference there. And like they take that approach, they have had that approach with gaming on PC, but not on console. And it's kind of like they take that to the TVs now, and who does it matter who manufactures the PC? Nobody asks, why isn't my PC made by Microsoft?
Well, right. That's what I was, that's the thing. They're more. Let me start again. There is a large group of shareholders, and always have been a group of shareholders, a very large group that think they would be better off without Xbox. Okay,
right.
That's just a fact. Okay, why they think that way is because, like you just said, Mav, they've never had to produce hardware before to be successful. They've tried it, right? Surface. Right? The phones, right? When they bought Nokia, the Windows Phone, they've tried their hand at hardware, but really never have found that they're not the hardware company. Sony's the hardware.
I mean, it says it in their name. Or Microsoft,
right, exactly.
They're
Microsoft,
a software
right.
company.
So what they have is an opportunity here, Mav, to all your guys' points. With this new UI that they've got going, right? Because Windows gaming hasn't been the success that they thought it would. There's the bloat, all the problems that everybody knows about at this point that they never fix. With this new UI, with what they're trying to do, with the heavy investment they are putting into this to make it a work across all your devices, they might be. And again, it's a point that we've made in the past when we've been talking about it. They get to a point where they say, we don't need to make the hardware. We just want our UI everywhere. We want everybody to have access to, yes, all the other storefronts, but ours as well, along with Game Pass, along with all this other stuff, where they can just buy our services. So if they get to a point where they can have this UI just installed on TVs, they kind of deal with every single TV manufacturer because their cloud gaming, which we know they're heavily investing in, becomes so good that they're the first ones that are fully cloud integrated, where everything is just there. Your entire library is there. Everything works, plus all access. What we've always talked about, Mav, and my ultimate, like you said, this is happening much faster, is that they ultimately want to be the gatekeeper when everybody else goes digital, including Nintendo, including PlayStation. They want to be the gatekeeper, right? That means that you're still going to have individual storefronts, PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, right? Steam, Epic, whatever. You're still going to have the storefronts, but who's going to be hosting all those storefronts, right? Microsoft. Who's going to have the UI and the software that gives you access all and seamlessly in one spot? Microsoft, right? So once again, they have a Windows situation on their hands where they can just, like you said, nobody asks why I don't have a Microsoft PC, but everybody knows that you're running Microsoft Windows for the most part. Again, I know Linux and everything else is out there, but I'm just saying that's how dominant they became, and that's how they dominated the PC market, is not by producing hardware, but making the software that everybody runs the majority of PCs on.
Right.
Yes, through very strong arm tactics, right? Through very monopolistic tactics, right? Back in the day, they definitely did some shit to become that. But right now, what do you see, Mav? They are so far ahead of anybody else in this gaming sector outside of maybe Steam, as far as getting a UI that's going to work across every single device that you could ever think of seamlessly. Like, yeah, man, that's exactly what I see them trying to do.
That's the end game, right?
Right.
Like, and that's what they're currently working on. That's what we've been talking about as far as like, I've been made a couple points a couple times about they're in all hands on deck mode about getting that ready because that's their future. We think of next gen always as a device, as a console, the next console. That's not what, to me, next gen is for Xbox. Next gen Xbox for me is that ecosystem that truly is the experience no matter where you are and what device you're playing on. So ultimately, if you have a device that you purchase that's made by Microsoft, or if it's made by Asus, or if it's made by Dell or Lenovo or Alienware, whatever the fuck, whoever decides they want to jump their hat into the ring, as long as I can grab my controller, my Xbox controller, turn it on, it boots up, and it launches, you see that Xbox logo pop up, I have access to all my games, I have access to everything that I have today. I don't care what name it says on the back and the little sticker on the very back, right? I don't care, you know. I just want it to be a great experience. And I think there is some danger in that because you're in less control. What if, hey, it doesn't start working out well and some of these companies aren't making as much money or selling as well? Well, you can't just still keep pushing it at that point. If they decide to get out of the game, they're getting out of the fucking game. You know? So there's definitely risk.
Well, that's why I said you have to have your base model that all the companies have to meet that required spec. And they can go above it if they want, but they have to meet whatever your base model is.
Right. So
at least for the launch of next gen.
So I agree. I think that is part of the reason why they would be doing it, Jasper, is to see how it's done and to make it done right, so that way they have a testing bed ready there for other companies to copy and stuff as well. You know what I mean? Like, and it does give them more control with starting out the new way of things. So like the hybrid PC and all these other kind of things that are happening, I think we're going to see things change dramatically as we have over the years, but it wouldn't surprise me if eventually they just stop making Xbox hardware. Right? Do I think it's going to happen with the launch of next gen? Right now I'm leaning towards no. I think they probably will make next gen consoles hybrid PCs because I think they're committed to making that work and seeing how it's going to work, and then having their own system out there to control the beginning of it more so than anything else, right? But over time, does that continue? I don't know. Like, and it'll be up to, a lot of it will be up to retails also. Yeah, they can still sell stuff online, but right now retailers aren't happy with Xbox. Like, like Sam's Club is clearancing shit out. Costco said they're no longer carrying Xbox products and they don't have any plans to. GameStop is slandering them online. Fucking, like, it's weird to see GameStop's actually trashing Xbox. Like, that is a weird sign. There's something going on beyond maybe, hey, the consoles haven't been selling as well, the price increases. There's something else, I think, going on behind the scenes with some communication between Xbox and the retailers that has caused some animosity between the retailers and the
I kind of
Xbox
wonder
brand.
if Xbox has quietly stopped production on the series consoles and they're just like putting out what they've already had made and they're not going to produce anymore.
I think that's part of it, yeah. And I mean, it's almost like it's discontinued in a way. It's not, you know, like it's still in the. I got the Amazon catalog the other day for Christmas and stuff, and like,
Oh,
hey,
I'm
there's
sure they
a
got plenty to store. I'm sure they got
yeah,
plenty to
yeah. There's the white Series X in it. You know what I mean? Somebody said it wasn't gonna be in the Walmart catalog. There wasn't gonna be any Xbox products. You know, but they're just launching a new piece of equipment too, with partnered with Asus with the fucking Xbox Ally X. But like seeing the Costco thing followed by the Sam's thing that people were sending pictures of, and then also the GameStop stuff that's going on right now. The slander, like you would normally not see a retailer slander one of the top partners.
especially one that they
Right.
actually cut a deal with a couple of years ago. to put
Exactly.
everything in the
Yeah.
front of the
So
store.
like,
and you know what I'm saying? Like they had supplied them with what Surface tablets and
Yeah.
a bunch of shit for their a bunch of point of sale stuff. And
yeah, they
the deal
tried to
was
help
to move
save
Xbox
their
Yeah,
ass.
you know when
Yeah,
GameStop was about to go bankrupt.
yeah,
they
exactly.
saved them.
So
basically.
it is weird seeing that stuff, and I think that there is something going on with retail right now, like with it. And maybe like Xbox has said they're going digital only and made that an official thing, right? With the next gen,
Right.
and that they are going to stop putting out physical things, and then people are like, what are we gonna do with all of our fucking games that we got? Like, you know, I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going on. I know that they're not happy right now with Xbox because you don't see that stuff by multiple things at once within a short period of time if there's not something that happened or something that was disclosed or discussed. Or maybe they were like, hey, we're not going to partner with you guys for our next consoles. We're going to do something different. I don't know. Because the PlayStation just announced price increases again too recently, right? And like they didn't get the same backlash, like from the retailers and stuff. It doesn't seem like but they're still
And you know
because they're
Xbox
selling
is down
more,
bad right
probably.
now because we haven't had a new controller in like 3 months.
Yeah, they did just bring.
Well, no,
They brought back Design Lab recently.
Yeah, Design
did
Lab is
they?
out there. Yeah, because they just did an Outer Worlds 2 and a Ninja Gaiden 4 controller.
Oh, never
So that's
mind.
how
They're
Boom,
fine.
Boom picked them up both. So that's the only reason why I know. Saw Boom post. Shout out to Boom.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Fuzzy, you've been quiet for awfully a long time. Fuzzy, you usually have some thoughts about this behind the scenes as far as what you think is going on there. You got anything?
I was trying to look up to see what that contract deal was with GameStop to see if there was a number of years listed. I think it was something that was up for renewal and didn't get renewed. And I joked about this before. I don't have any insight on it, but I wouldn't be surprised if other places saw the investment that Microsoft made into GameStop and wanted something similar because all of them have key locations in store or key real estate spaces in their store. Some brands pay for those locations, some don't, depending on the popularity of the price or the popularity of the product. Like I know with Apple, they have specific instructions on where their devices will be displayed in your store, but they're not going to pay you to display them because they can sell themselves.
Well, I mean, like even from like my experience in retail, like I know companies that you have to buy like eye level shelving is more expensive than like bottom or top level shelving because people don't see that. So a lot of companies, if you want your product visible, you have to pay for the better shelving level, basically.
Right. And I'm wondering if Microsoft was like, yeah, remember those stipends or those payments we were making? Yeah, we're not doing any of that. Oh, by the way, the only retail stuff that we're selling is what's left over in some of our warehouses or ports or whatever the case may be. And they just, they're clearing out whatever extra stuff that they bought, or maybe they're rolling back some of the kickbacks for the end of the year. Like certain stores, also another retail thing. If you sell a certain amount of product, that company usually gives you a percent back, or maybe if there's returns, you're automatically given a certain kickback based on percent of returns. That number could be as high as 9%. Usually it's lower than 6% or lower, but I think something along those lines was communicated that they're not doing that anymore, and that's why they're kind of upset. The price hike, I don't think is as much of a factor unless they're cutting into the margins of the store. So let's say a $500 device. Normally, the stores, at least in today's age, they would make between 5 and 15%, or probably closer to 15%, maybe a little bit higher, is their margin. Aside from what we see on sales for like the holidays and things, maybe even with the price hike, they're like, well, we're suggesting the price be this, but your margin to that, like with the new price being, I think was it 700 for one of their consoles or something. The actual price that the store is paying is probably closer to like 620 or something, instead of what would be the normal gapping around like 580 or something along those lines. So they're probably cutting into store margins as well. But it's hard to say. I still think hardware is pretty much a guarantee next gen, but they might just sell direct. And that's supposedly the best way to control um, against bots and things like that. Although not everybody had the same experience when it came to purchasing the series consoles. Like I bought 3 consoles, 2 S's and 1X, like the day you could pre-order them or whenever, and had absolutely no problems on Microsoft.com. I know tons of people had issues with stuff disappearing from their cart or their order getting canceled or just constantly, buffering and loading and stuff. So hopefully they're better at it for the next go round, but they may just do a direct sale and Amazon. So you can buy it online, you can buy it on Amazon, and probably buy it at Best Buy and Walmart as well, because they do those mixed stores where it's partly their inventory and other sellers' inventory, but there might not be like an on shelf, easy to get, at least at launch. That might go away, and then that would seriously piss off GameStop, because most of their business comes from the direct store sales on like a launch of a new hardware. Like look at like what they did with the Switch 2. Just imagine if Nintendo's like, nope, we're only selling these online. Screw you guys, you're out of the loop. Yeah, that would seriously piss off a GameStop. So maybe something like that is happening. Quiet is kept for the next gen or going into next gen, because that's something that they would have to talk about what the plans are for next holiday. Like it's already, whatever was planned for this holiday should have been resolved and like finalized in July or August at the latest.
Right.
Most of the time, you want to revisit that at like March and April, and then start talking about the next holiday season. And maybe they didn't like what they heard from Microsoft on not doing kickbacks or what have you, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see, but who knows what the beef is, but there's some beef. I saw shout out to Nate Dogg in the chat, was asking if we talked about Magnus yet. So the leaks for Xbox, Magnus would be the new, I guess, is a code name for the new console, right? And the whole AMD partnership and everything that they're doing. So there was some leaks, apparently from Moore's Law is Dead, and I don't know if it's true or the specs are real or not or whatever, right? Because maybe I've seen people say that's not a reliable person, but a lot of people are running with it, so I don't know. But overall, this is what they said. Details of the Magnus APU from the next gen Xbox. Largest ever seen in a console. 408 millimeters, two chiplets. GPU 264. RDNA 5. 264. I don't even know how to fucking read this shit, guys. Jasper, do you have it? Can you
well, can you put it in the DM so I can see it?
Yeah. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna just
because right now I'm just listening to you say numbers. Basically, I'm like,
I don't fucking know what any of this means. Here, I put it in the DM.
Yeah,
that's the tweet. This was, I think Exodus had posted something about it. I've seen tons of different posts about it. So I just searched for it, and That's what showed up. So this was auto translated from Portuguese by Grok. By the way.
Yeah.
Do you see it?
Yeah, I see it. I was just trying to comprehend it in my brain for a second there. So the largest ever seen in a console, 408 millimeters, whatever, 2 chiplets. So that's basically just saying that's the size of the CPU or the APU die itself. So it's going to be the size of the chip in the thing, and there's going to be 2 chiplets. So there's going to be 2 different chips. The GPU, 264 millimeters, RDNA5. So that's just saying that's again, it's the size of the chipset itself, and then RDNA5 is the technology architecture that's going to be in there.
Right.
CPU 3 Zen times 6 plus 8 Zen times or 8x Zen 6C. That's just the core count for how many. So it's a third, or it's a Zen 6 CPU with. I don't. Okay, that's kind of weird to break down. I don't know, but it's saying how many.
It's like there's 2
cores are in the chip.
It's like saying that there's 2. There's a three times Zen 6 plus a 8 times Zen 6 C. I don't know.
Yeah,
read this. We're not.
That's kind of weird. And then up to 48 gigabyte GDR7 memory. So that's going to be your graphic memory. And since it's a console, it's going to be shared across physical RAM memory and then GPU memory. So 48 gigs is actually quite a lot for a console. And your MPU, that's going to be your AI chip. So they're going to offload all the upscaling, DLSS, SFSR, all that like upscaling shit that people complain about now. That's all going to be on the NPU, the AI chip. So it kind of offloads the task of the GPU. And then the price is $800, they said.
Yeah, price up to $800 for a possible hybrid of console and PC.
Yeah.
Cool. It sounds powerful, but I don't know. Like, like we'll see what it actually is when they announce it eventually, and we'll see if this was accurate. Looks like it'll probably be.
It could just be like a weird. It could be a weird translation on some of this stuff, just because it was translated from Portuguese or whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to see like another one just to see if I can like corroborate it.
Corroborate it.
Corroborate. What is that word? I need to corroborate it. This
with
is
my wife.
Yeah, with my I need to ask my wife to corroborate this information. Development of the next Xbox is full steam ahead, says AMD engineer. Despite rumors of Xbox leaving the console market, an AMD engineer confirms that Microsoft next-gen Xbox, codenamed Magnus, is deep in development. Sources say the project was discussed in an internal meeting on October 3rd, and canceling it would be very expensive due to existing contracts. That source was multiplayer first. Okay, here's another one. This is Tom's guide. Maybe Tom will help me. APU powering the next Xbox could help it compete with pre-built PCs. That's what the experts at Digital Foundry discussed in this latest episode of their Digital Foundry Direct Weekly podcast. Digital Foundry notes that the leaked Magnus APU image that we previously reported on reveals a chip that's very different from past and current console APUs like the ones powering the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Well, this is an old article. Fuck. What am I doing? Jeez. That's from August 5th. They don't have the fucking specs. This is what happens when you search random shit. Okay, here's one.
There's some stuff that's listed on there. Like I've been purposely staying out of the loop of all these leaks on hardware because one, Moore's Law is involved. And I've said this numerous times. Like ever since he said at the beginning of this generation that the PS5 had RDNA 3 when the PS5 was already done and in production. But yet Xbox waited for RDNA 2 to be fully developed. So how could you have RDNA 3 in something when RDNA 2 is just being wrapped?
His because he was living in the future. I don't know, man. I remember that happening, like at the beginning of the generation, and everybody's like RDNA this, RDNA that, RDNA this, and like it has this what has. Everybody's arguing about what RDNA everything has, and I was like, I don't even fucking know what it is.
And the other thing is RDNA 5 is being mentioned, which I know they're going for as late as possible architecture, but I'm pretty sure they phase that nomenclature out for UADNA. That's supposedly the new AI infused architecture. So, and I'm pretty sure this is going to have AI infused something because Copilot, blah blah blah. It's Microsoft. They're going
Yeah,
to
I mean,
find
they
a way
have
to
the
put AI
NPU
in
in there.
there. So I would have to believe it's UDNA. But I honestly don't know. But I do know that they're going for as close to latest hardware, but there's just it's still too early. Like I would say anything that comes after VGAs, if they show the the sizzle reel for or the highlight reel for the next gen console at the VGAs, anything that comes after that, then I'll pay more attention to. But that's if they show it at the VGAs, which I'm kind of leaning towards them possibly. But yeah, I just know that this is going to be much better than what the Series X is, and obviously much better than what the PS5 Pro will be. It's going to be more expensive, likely. I'm still holding out hope that it's under 800, but I'm probably living in a fantasy world in that regard. But yeah, I think they will go with a bigger chipset. 48 gigabytes sounds a bit ridiculous to me. 24 would be more believable. 32 would be more believable. 48, no. I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong. But 48 is not a number that makes sense if you kind of understand what I'm saying. Like the 24 that you will find in the Xbox Ally is kind of like the max you want to put into a handheld and not make it ridiculously expensive like the Legion Go, which I think is 32. Um, Putting the next console at something above 32 is automatically going to make it way more expensive than what it probably needs to be. And it's going to probably be overkill for development.
I kind of agree and disagree at the same time because if if they're going the console route, they have to share all this memory. And
Yeah.
with games nowadays being like if you want to run a game at like 4K or whatever, you need like at least a 16 gigabyte GPU plus your RAM. So if they're sharing all of that, that only leaves you with like if you went the 24 route, that only leaves you with 8 gigabytes of RAM itself to run the system.
Yeah.
So I mean that's assuming that the console games kind of still work the way they do. Like if it's more this PC route, then maybe you need more still just because you're splitting it over and I don't know. It just
Well, 32 would be a good balance for the games itself, but for running all the background stuff, maybe another 8 to 12, which would then put it at like 44, 48, a much more better rounder number, but I'm thinking 32 is where they top out at. Like 48, I can imagine you're going the PC route, shared memory. This thing with that amount of memory, the memory itself would be like $400.
yeah.
And the hardware is going to probably be like $600. So you're looking at memory and bare bones on everything else, and you're already at $1,000. I don't could be $1,000. I don't think that they would target $1,000 though. I think we would find that they would have some other goodies in there, like a 2 terabyte faster SSD or something like that to start.
I mean storage nowadays is cheap as shit anyway, so it's
It won't
Yeah.
come with storage.
Bring your own storage.
Yeah, that's the way they're gonna cut costs. Yeah, you can buy games, you just can't install them. You're gonna have to buy something to install them.
I like the info that they're saying on the chipset, but I'm the RDNA 5. It
yeah.
almost feels like that RDNA 3 moment when RDNA 2 was wrapping up. It's like it
Because
should be
RDNA, the
UDNA.
architecture itself has been delayed by like a year and a half to 2 years from what they originally were supposed to launch this stuff.
What
Like,
what
we're
are
just
we
now
in? Are we in 4 yet or 3? I don't even
Yeah.
know where we're at in the RDNA world.
The
we're
last AMD chips, I think, were 4, weren't they?
yeah, because they're just now starting to put out FSR 4, which actually is pretty good compared to the normal FSR. Like, you're not getting as many artifacts and stuff, so FSR is improving a lot. You're not getting as many frames with SFR 4, but it looks better. So
Will it play my games at 4K 60?
It should, or at least upscale 4K.
Okay, that's
And
good
it'll play
enough
them
for
clear
me.
without ghosting and stuff like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
right on. It'll be interesting to see what the actual final specs are, but yeah, that information's out there, and there's also info on the PS6 stuff. I don't understand any of it, and I'll just wait and see what the stuff looks like when we get closer to.
Wait for them to sell you snake oil, and then you just buy it.
Exactly.
They had
And
the Mark Cerny video with the guy from AMD. So we got Lisa Sue for Xbox, and they got, I guess, the next person down for PlayStation or
and
something. So
something I hope people learn from this generation is all that shit they talk about, all that stuff leading up to launch, and all these things that the really techie people care about, and they think it's going to change gaming forever and give us the most advanced stuff we've ever seen before. None of that shit matters because the developers have to use it. And we're just now finally getting to the point where they figured out how to use the shit that came out 5 years ago. So, just saying. All right.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess we just have tidbits left. And then we'll get everybody out of here. And then tomorrow, you'll be playing some Battlefield. So come hang out. I don't know what time, but if you want to watch a Battlefield stream, Pong said he may be able to hang out tomorrow night. I don't know if you're available, Fuzzy or Jasper, but
I
nice.
might be on set for a scary movie theater.
Oh, of course, you're on set.
Hollywood.
Yeah,
He's in his trailer right now.
What?
I mean, that's what's going on.
he's gonna. Fuzzy can't join us. He's gonna be on set. Everybody, he just said he's gonna be on set. Those words came out of his mouth. I love it, dude. On set. I feel like speaking to like Hollywood people now all the time. With you and 3-Bit. Or like when I was on 3-Bit show on the weekend, it's like I'm just like this fucking Texas guy in Dallas, like watching football and playing fucking Madden and Final Fantasy Tactics, and here we got like Fuzzy just got off a set. 3-Bit's making a show. He's almost done with his trailer.
Yeah, I was talking to Tom Cruise the other day, and he's pretty chill.
His best is when he casually dropped Sydney Sweeney.
Oh,
I was on a Zoom call with Sydney Sweeney. I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
What 3-Bit? Oh yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I just had the meeting with Brad Pitt about the F1 trailer.
That's right.
And he was
on it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, he's really cool. And like he gave me some notes on some of the stuff he did. Like you fucking had a meeting with Brad Pitt? Like, just can you reverse that? And like, it's like, Jesus. Like, I remember before he was
whole
like,
different world.
He was like, yeah, when the NFT thing was going around, he's like, yeah, don't tell it. I don't know if I should say it now. He's like, yeah, don't tell anybody. But just I had this meeting and I was involved, and like Mark Cuban was there and was talking about NFTs and stuff. And I'm like, jeez, what's going on with this
Or the
guy?
time he was like, yeah, I was just in the elevator with Haley Steinfeld or whatever.
You know, it was it Nina Dobrev, I think.
Oh.
I don't remember. It's one of those actresses. Yeah. It was like I was in an elevator. It's like, who are you?
Right?
Like now he's just like, yeah, making a show, working with people, and yeah, maybe it'll be, picked up, or you're making a show. You make the Aflac duck. you're working with Brad Pitt, and it make his fucking a huge successful movie trailer. Like for a huge successful, one of the most successful movies from this past year. And then doing Sydney Sweeney pitches for fucking Baskin Robbins or
Right.
whatever it was. Like, jeez, man.
Mhm.
It's crazy. Now Fuzzy's on set, and then Fuzzy will be like, yeah, I just had like a meeting with Jamie Lee Curtis to be in my movie. She's a scream queen. I decided to throw some stuff out to some scream queens to be in our next movie with me, with my wife.
My wife.
With my wife.
I love how you say that tonight.
With my wife.
Like if Borat's in the house, Texas Borat.
We got tidbits to watch now. All right.
Oh.
Everybody, this is the last segment. This is Tidbits, where we look ahead at the games releasing for the week.
In the PS4 and 5, the Nintendo Switch and PC this Thursday for $22.49. This looks like a cool game for the Steam Deck as well. So, or for the Switch, I guess.
Is this an action RPG or a roguelike? Oh, beat 'em up.
It's a
roguelike.
beat 'em up roguelike, Pong. They just literally answered your question.
That was perfect timing.
Ask and you shall receive.
Oh, 2-player co-op too. Cool.
Yeah.
Looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love that people have totally embraced this hand-drawn animation style. It's not
Yeah.
hand-drawn anymore, but it looks close to what they used to do. Cartoons. Love it. That Storm?
Yeah. Absolute.
That my wish list.
Still making
I'd
it
have
for
to
the
add
PS4.
that. I'd have to add.
Alright, this next one is Bye Sweet Carol. And this is coming
Wow.
to PS5, Series X and S, Nintendo Switch and PC this Thursday for $19.99.
Look at that art style. That is cool, man. That's like straight
And
up
then it's
like
just a
80s
fucking
cartoons.
platformer where you're a rabbit.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, yeah. It's completely Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Cinderella or some shit. The Gone Wrong.
Yeah.
Cinderella's Nightmare.
You've got Disney music in it? What the? Okay.
Now you
Disney
can
Princess
hear
Nightmare.
me.
Bye, Sweet Carol. Look at that. Even the title is
That's pretty crazy cool, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Alright, this next one is Lappin', coming to the PS4 and 5 this Thursday for $14.99.
What is it just like this art style this week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Must be.
3-bit would be
You're
loving
also
this
playing another
tidbits.
rabbit.
And all these games are cheap too. The Buy Sweet Carol is only $20. The Absolute is only like it's $25 normal price. The Absolute is
Yeah.
only like $25. So this is why I love Steam. This is why I love PC. These games, not this one. The others.
New encounters with a variety of collections.
Now, more than likely, you'll see these in a grouping on Humble Bundle probably in about the next, I would say, 4 to 6 months. These games are well within reason. Pick them up for your Steam Deck, your Switch, or even your Xbox Ally. Yeah, these are pretty cool.
Don't do platformers.
You and Pong and your anti-platformer stuff.
Garbage. Played it all my life. Decades. That's all we had.
All right, this
The
next
only
one.
time I play a platformer is if they make a character a purple elephant. That's revolutionary.
All right, this next one. We Were Here Together, coming to the Nintendo Switch. Now it's already been on PC. This is like a remaster of like their third one or something. There's We Were Here, and then there was We Were Here 2, and then there's We Were Here Together, and then there's like a couple other ones in this series. Price on this, I missed. It's $11.69.
Talk, tick, tock.
Right, this next one is Yuka Replay E, coming to PS5, Series X and
Rewriting a
S,
classic, are we?
Nintendo,
Let's see what this
Switch
reimagining
2,
has to
and
offer.
PC this
Ooh,
Thursday
new
for
areas to test your skills and
$26.99.
moves. You guys
I
move
believe
better,
IGN
making
gave this a
platforming
4 or
look
a
easy.
5.
Just look at them go.
This was a 9.
treasure
So this is
hunting
at
pages
least
got
as good as
easier.
a Battlefield 6
Wait,
campaign.
300.
Shout out to all the ukulele fans so we get to
Hang
play
on,
the game
what?
again. So.
Change
Yeah.
how I play?
I was so
Harder,
excited when they first
easier,
announced
or
Ukulele
just
because it had all the
plain
Banjo Kazooie team or whatever
And
working
you
on
can
it,
play
and then I just played it. I was like,
retro,
it's just not the
pirate,
same.
Goth,
Yeah.
and you gave the dinosaur
people did
his
like it,
own
obviously.
game inside
I'm
your
happy they're
game.
bringing back all the
You could
old
spin
games.
this
I
off
love
into
this
its own
full
series.
Remaster.
Looks like Capital B has some new hires. Little business bees, corporate blasters, jellyfish, and monstrous rocks. These boss fights are unhinged. 1 minute you're fighting a planet shooting meteors out of a craters, and the next you are fighting a ramp. And the big bad bee, he's in for a real beating this time. Oh, I see. You're rewriting the story
Almost like
so
the
you
guy
guys
from,
come out looking better.
Pickleballs.
Whoa, you sure have changed a lot. It's almost like a completely new game.
Oh, they changed. Oh, they did actually change shit. Okay. All right.
Right, this next one we have to mute. This is the one that a lot of people are probably waiting for. It's Battlefield 6 coming to PS5, Series X and
I don't
S,
give a
and
shit.
PC this
Yeah.
Friday for $69.99. Unless you have EA Play, then it's $62.99.
Yeah, Dogshit 5 campaign. Who cares? Don't need it.
Don't eat it. This looks horrible.
I read that IGN review, and now I'm completely not excited anymore for Battlefield 6.
Right.
Thanks, IGN.
Mhm.
Can't wait.
Yep.
A true return to form.
Just, I can't believe they're using that language over and over again.
I know.
Reviewers. I hate that shit. I hate that shit so bad.
It's didn't like the last big game come out like this, and people just like search for that same term, and it's like
Yeah. No, it's Dragon Age.
every
Dragon
reviewer uses it. Yeah,
It's Dragon Age. Yep.
it's just such bad writing.
I know.
It's so unoriginal.
Look at that. Look at that Phantom Edition. That's what I got.
I'm gonna start
Looking good. Skins are
reviewing
looking good.
IGN reviews
Our tale follows a girl who adores Bushido.
and the actual writing.
Right, this is Biscay 7 Complete coming to Nintendo Switch 2 this Friday for. That's right, it is $69.99. I was like, did I make a mistake? No, this is actually $69.99.
What?
That's all in the past.
I think it's a collection of games, right?
Do my worst.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the complete edition.
Oh, it's the scare. Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't realize it was Disgaea. This is freaking one of my favorite. This is so good. It's a tactical franchise. This is one of the best tactical franchises out there.
For some reason, I could never get into it, man. I bought 3 and 4, I think, and I just like it just didn't click. I didn't like the mechanic of like them picking them up over their
Stacking?
heads.
The
The
stacking
stuff,
is
yeah.
so freaking cool.
I don't like the stacking mechanic.
So good. Writing
Right,
is
this next one
hilarious.
is Dreams of Another coming to PS5, PSVR 2, and PC. It's Friday
cool
for
one.
$34.99.
I was once
Yeah, with the guns. Yeah.
I saw who did
I felt
fuck,
its
who
thorny little body.
Asa reviewed this. He has a YouTube video.
As he held his art for everyone to see.
It's so unique.
For a brief moment,
So
the
unique.
pineapple and I switched places.
Yeah, this
and
is
I
the first
experienced the
PSVR
world
2
through
game I've seen in a
pineapple's
while.
perspective.
It's like
Is it VR required?
But it was not enough for
It's not required. You could play
Okay.
either standard or do the VR.
Okay.
At first, I thought I was flying.
But that was just how long my legs were.
I saw myself staring back at me, and I felt helpless.
what happened to Psycho? He's just usually working nights,
I
man.
thought that man's gonna
Like
eat
he's
me,
just busy.
and
He's a big shot now.
He got a promotion.
Yeah,
whether it's light or
He
material.
wrote that post for GameStop.
Yeah, he's
against Xbox.
GameStop social media manager.
Like, get me out of here.
Bro, if he was that, PlayStation would just have like negative tweets every 5
I know,
minutes.
I know. We didn't find out he was actually the author.
Right,
That's why he
this is
posted in the
Little
DMs 'cause he was all
Nightmares
proud of it.
Enhanced Edition, coming to PS5, Series X and S, Switch 2, and PC this Friday. For $39.99 if you didn't previously own it, but it is a free update if you did.
Good games.
I'm too busy with your mom right now. I can't go on the shows.
I'm sleeping with all my employees' mothers. Now that I'm the manager,
Next door neighbor's husband's out of town. so you
I
know
find
this.
out when they're working, and I just go visit their moms when they're at work. I set their schedules to make it easier for me. Oh man. Man. Oof. Giants taking it to the Eagles, guys.
I know.
Yeah,
It's funny.
I like that scataboo. It's like old school.
That's who I played in college football last year.
Oh, yeah?
It was Arizona State. Yeah, Arizona State.
Nice.
Dude, he was a beast. He was a beast.
Right. Little Nightmares 3 coming to PS4 and 5, Xbox One, Series X and S, Nintendo Switch and Switch 2, as well as PC this Friday for $39.99.
I could not awaken my heart to joy at the same tone. And all I loved alone.
I laughed
Through
alone.
endless nights and stormy weather,
With my wife.
we face our childhood fears together.
I never played a Little Nightmares.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah,
They're so damn good.
I don't know why. I think me and Kate would actually enjoy them, but just never played one. BT Maverick 707 member for 10 months says super excited for Double Fine's Keeper next week. Yeah, man. Xbox has like 3 games coming out soon. Keeper should be pretty good. It looks interesting.
Right, this next one is Pixel Junk Eden 2. Coming to PS4 and 5 and
Nice.
PC this Friday for $14.99.
These are cool games too.
Oh, you know what I was playing last night, Pong? Geometry Wars 2.
Oh, so good, yeah.
And I saw your score. I was trying to beat it, but I was only playing for like one run, you know. So
Okay.
I'm gonna
Geometry
launch
Wars
it.
is great.
I'm gonna launch it again. You have like 1.9 million on the first level,
Yeah.
and so you're like the closest to me.
There's another cheap indie game that's like Geometry Wars. It's called Fireball. It's like $7 or something like that. It's freaking awesome.
Is it?
Addicting
I'll have
as
to
hell.
check it out.
Yeah.
I've been looking for games like that I can just kind of like mindless stuff.
They don't have as much variety as Geometry War does, but it's so much fun. You create black holes and shit. What's this?
It's an ulcerative colitis commercial.
This is Snoopy and the Great Mystery Club coming to PS5, Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and PC this Friday for $39.99. Although on Nintendo it's $35.99.
I thought Fuzzy was slipping in some big pharma money here too while we were.
Oh, see, I had like
He's
I
big
had
time.
an ad.
He's big time in this.
My ad was some like senator complaining about Donald Trump. So
Oh
I was
my
like, what
god!
the-
Ours was big pharma. Oh my
That's
god!
great.
Fuzzy's selling us out already to Hollywood. It's like, oh yeah, I'll get the advertisements going.
We'll slip some of these YouTube ads in there to think we're actually getting in those advertisers. Trick them.
Man, I wish Snoopy was still popular, bro. I can't believe they're putting out a game. Like,
Hello there, Great Mystery Club.
I don't know if the younger
The
generations
Snoopy-
even really care.
The Snoopy flying game on the 360
Yeah, the Red
was
Baron?
an arcade game. Yeah,
Red
that
Baron?
was actually so
Yeah,
fun.
bro. Yeah.
There was a movie not too long ago that was pretty popular.
I mean, I think the older stuff is still. I mean, people watch the Great Pumpkin.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
every
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. But it's just
Halloween.
like game-wise, I don't know if it's big enough to do this. I mean, it's cool as hell. I'm glad they're trying.
Who's your
What's-
favorite Charlie Brown character?
Linus.
Linus.
I was gonna say Linus too.
All right, this one I got to mute. It is Just Dance 2026 edition coming to PS5, Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and Switch 2 this Tuesday for $49.99.
I think my favorite's Pigpen.
I was gonna say that too. It's hilarious.
Linus is the blanket, right?
Yeah, Linus is the boy.
Okay.
The thumb.
Yeah.
I probably just go Snoopy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Basic bitch, but I don't care.
What about
Snoopy's great,
what
man.
about the little yellow bird?
Oh yeah.
What was it? Woodchuck? Not Woodchuck.
No,
Was it
Woodstock.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, Woodstock. Yeah.
I mean, he had a whole festival named after him.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but Snoopy and the Red Baron stuff kind of sealed it for me. Freaking
Yeah.
amazing.
All right.
Why does Just Dance still exist? How is that possible?
I don't know. Here's my favorite of this. Well,
Yep.
actually, yeah, this is my favorite out of the
Yep.
list. NASCAR 25 coming to PS5, Series X and S. It comes to PC next month, so I might wind up double dipping on this one.
I was just gonna say it's probably not even coming out. Fuzzy just threw it in here because he just wants to get us to watch it. It's probably not due out until like December. Fuzzy's just each and every week.
I imagine like eventually
Another
in the UK they're gonna come out with like their own NASCAR, but it's gonna be like backwards, and they're all gonna drive and turn right instead of left.
and it's just the black cabs racing each other.
They got what was it, was it British Touring Car Cup or something? It's the BTCC or something like that, where it's like some of them are Hondas, some of them are Hyundai. What else do they have?
Can I be Tony
Lincoln or
Stewart?
whatever. That other that brand from China, or that's owned by China, or Lincoln or Link or something.
This one's coming to Game Pass. I want to play this.
Yeah,
This looks dope.
Ball versus Pit.
Ball-
Yeah,
yeah.
the PS5, Series X and S, Nintendo Switch and Switch 2, and PC this Wednesday. It's $14.99 everywhere, but
Yes.
like you said, Game Pass Ultimate
This looks
is
dope.
included.
Oh, I watched a dude play
Brick
this not
breaking
too long ago.
Yeah, look at how cool. Oh man.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, base building, Mav. I didn't even know it had that.
Oh,
No, I didn't either. I've only seen
Survival
people
roguelike.
like do
Let's go.
this part.
Yep. Yeah, let's go.
I have a gut feeling this is going to be a hot game on
Mm-hmm.
handhelds.
you know I like to build me some bases.
Yep. Look at how. Oh man, it's so good. Yep. What do you get from there? You must get resources.
Yeah, I don't know what the base
resources
building
probably.
aspect is.
I don't know.
Look at how crazy this. Oh yes, sir.
Yeah, you can get like different weapons and like
Oh,
fuse them
shmup.
together and like power.
Yeah,
them up.
like Vampire Survivors in a way.
Yeah.
Combine shit. Yeah.
Ball pit. This is in Game Pass.
Yep. It's a game. Pass.
Descend into chaos.
Go.
That one's gonna be a fun one.
It's a very different ball
That's it
pit
for
than I
this
used
week.
to play in when I was a kid.
Well,
Well,
they spilled a McDonald's around it.
yeah. Did you guys ever think you were gonna die in a ball pit?
No.
Like, get so far down and low didn't know if you were gonna be able to get up out of it? No.
What were you like? A foot
I mean,
tall? Like, did they throw you in there as a
no, when you're
toddler?
like young. Did you ever get below all the balls and have a panic moment?
No.
No. How fucking deep was your ball pit?
How deep were
I
you
don't
in the
think
balls?
I ever been in a ball pit because by the time they came around, I think I was already a teenager or something.
Is this
Also,
yeah?
they're gross.
Well, back in the day, right? Like, Chuck E. Cheese was the place to go, and they had the ball pit. So you'd get in the ball pit, and there would be like 3 other kids in there too, and like they'd all just be
And you'd
like,
find like a Band-Aid and like
yeah, or a kid. like a baby or something, like, oh, there's a fucking baby in these balls. Anyway, you would
Baby batter.
if someone's doing that in a ball pit, that's a bad place.
Baby batter. Yeah, but no, I remember like it's probably like 7 or 8 or something, and I was like in the ball pit, and then I was like, I think it was another kid that like pushed me down, and then I was like, I realized I was completely submerged, and I had a panic
I
moment.
yelled for my wife.
I yelled for my mom. My mom, come help me. Save me.
Yes, Caitlin. Baby batter.
Yeah. And then last
That's what's
week I
involved.
was in one, and it was a little scary too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Um,
Panic attack.
Matt having a childhood flashback. Yeah, just 9 more hours to Battlefield 6. Get here. 9 more hours. I'm 12 hours away. Well, congrats, Big Me Money, for being 3 hours sooner to be able to play it than me. But everybody, you rock. This was a fun episode. Thanks for hanging out with us and shooting the shit and reliving some Battlefield memories, and looking forward to Battlefield 6 tomorrow. And tune in tomorrow night if you want to see me get destroyed in Battlefield. Jasper, tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Yo, you can find me on Twitter at Lord Jasper, and I'm still searching for those aliens for Pong. I just can't find them. But other than that, just here every couple Thursday nights, at least for the next few months maybe, and then playing Battlefield tomorrow. So that's my plan.
Awesome. Sounds like a good plan, sir. Fuzzy Belvedere, besides on set, where else can we find you?
Oh man, this was awesome being with you guys tonight. Yeah, usually maybe social media on occasion. Just do a search for Fuzzy Belvedere, you'll be able to find me.
Or Hollywood.
Just
straight up.
or Hollywood. We're going to be visiting a haunted theater tomorrow in Delaware, so hopefully I make it out of there. So we'll see. But all in all, just everybody play some games, clear your backlog as best you can, because there's like a ton of games coming here in these next couple of weeks, and it's not going to stop until the end of the year, and then next year it's going to be a whole new mess of games. But play games and have fun out there. We'll see you guys next Thursday.
Right on. Thanks, Fuzzy, as always, dude. And the one and only Pong Soul. What about you, sir?
Great Thursday night to be back with the brothers and Jasper. Like I told you behind the scenes, I don't believe you, sir. I don't believe anything you say out of your mouth now. You're one of them, brother. So I think you probably got aliens sitting right next to you right now. That's why you're not on camera tonight. Anyways,
It's just Weep Glorp. He's pretty cool.
cool. Nah, it's great to have Jasper here. Great to see you, Fuzzy. I'm glad you could make it from your trailer and get off set soon enough to join us tonight. I know that eventually you're just going to disappear on us and never talk to us again, but that's cool, man. I'm glad you're here while you are. So appreciate you. And of course, Mav, thanks for being here, man. And telling us about your ball pit stories. It's great. Anyways,
got many
it was
of
fun.
them.
It was fun Thursday. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Jasper, we're gonna have you make a ball pit level in Portal and Battlefield 6, and we'll have to get Mav in there.
Just throw me in the ball pit and just leave me.
Yeah, exactly.
Gets kicks for inactivity, just swimming in the ball.
Oh shit! No. Happy Battlefield 6 Eve, everybody. Who's going to enjoy it? I know a lot of you are going to enjoy. We're gonna have some fun. Like you said, like Mav said, it might be on tomorrow. And then Saturday, I think Steele and I don't have a time yet. I think we're going to try to go in the morning for at least a couple hours. I think I can get a couple hours in on Saturday morning over on LS Living Split Screen. So I think we're going to try to do that. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. If you want to see me and Steele and whoever else wants to jump in, if Mav's around Saturday morning, whoever else, Jaspy, it doesn't matter. You guys know how we roll. We'll just start inviting people in. So join us there. Otherwise, yeah. Don't know if we're going to have a shop podcast Sunday night. Keep your eyes peeled for that. PTK's got a lot going on right now as well. And then otherwise, God willing, next week, I'll be back here for another Thursday night. Nothing but love and respect to all of you who come out and join us. And you know how to find me, Pong Soul everywhere. It's the golden age of gaming. So please enjoy your weekend. Go blow some shit up in Battlefield 6, man. It's a great freaking time. And maybe we'll see you out there. Play what you love. Love what you play. We'll talk to y'all real soon. Mav, get us out of here, brother.
Have a good one, everybody. Take it easy. Check out Sub Babe Network also on YouTube. And check us out on Spotify. If you're on Spotify, leave a review for this show. It helps people find us. Thank you all. Have a good one. Take it easy. Good night.